He did it through midfield, me.
It's not though. Old Wakey is straight into the fence, and Stickers might take advantage here. There's damage on Old Wakey's car.
What is he doing? Oh boy! Oh, big crash. Huge crash. Glasses into him. Glasses into him.
Less than a second away from the podium.
It's not over till it's over.
Who's it gonna be? Get the drive. Who's it gonna be? Oh my god! He gets it. Does he get him? He goes into the lead. Oh my god! Oh, that is absolutely incredible. Oh boy!
He's too deep. Oh, he's in him. Oh, it's drama. Drama. Oh. He's gone for a move very opportunistic. Oh, that came out of nowhere from Morgan Davis.
The battle back for second is an absolute hot rocket. Oh, there's a big tap from Raceway to Wakey. Raceway to the wall. But he's recovered straight away. That bump was so lucky. We'll get a quick read.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Sector 1 Supercars Championship. Today we are here in the Swiss countryside for Deep Forest Raceway. It's a 4.25 kilometre circuit with 16 corners. It's a tight and technical circuit, but also has some long straights. So it'll be very interesting to see what teams have put what tunes into their cars, whether they try and tackle the technical section of sectors 1 and 2. To be as quick as possible through there, or to get the straight line speed on the back straight and the pit straight, of course. So the main overtaking opportunities tonight will be coming from the sweeper of the sweeping left-hander of turn 1 and the hairpin at the top of the circuit. So looking to be some incredible racing action today. Deep Forest, we've had a few races here already in Sector 1 since it's returning GT7, and it's always thrown up some magnificent racing for us. As always, with our Division 1 and Division 3 weeks, it is the Group A week, and we will be having a 15-minute qualifying session for each and a 15-minute race. Today's start will be it'll be a rolling start, an automatic rolling start using the Gran Turismo 7 automatic feature. No rain today on the horizon, as this is not a wet track, so the only racing compound available to us tonight is, of course, the soft, slick tyre. My name is Lenocis, and joining me in the commentary box today, and also racing in the Division 3 race, actually, is Carbonboy. How are we doing tonight, Carbonboy? Yeah, I'm getting ready to watch some absolutely spectacular racing, as always. This is some of my favourite divisions in Sector 1. They always, these two races, they always offer some good weekend racing action, and the stats show that on YouTube. We always get great numbers for these races, always some good action. So yeah, qualifying for Division 3 is about to get underway, but before we do that, we'll just have a look at the Division 3 standings after round 4 that was last week at Mount Panorama in our own backyard. So leading the way for Dadson Racing Team is, of course, Dadson 44 on 109 points, followed by Stranger on 102 points for Doghouse Motorsport. Dadson's teammate Gur 17 for Dadson Racing as well takes the third spot in the championship at the moment. With 101 points to his name, 1 point behind Stranger, and quite a bit of a gap to Grassis in P4 behind for Lucky's Lawn Care Racing. Daz for Deeds in 5th on 77, Killer and Deleuze for Red Mist in 6th on 75 points, VF in 7th for Racing Cars Like Legends, 1 point behind, Banier X for Sanction P8 with 71, Prua in P9 for Obsession on 69, points. S mid in 10th for Red Mist Racing on 59. Carbonboy, who's in the commentary box, of course, in 11th position. He had a few races off, but he joined us last week actually at Bathurst and got a podium, which congrats to you, sir, for that. Looking to make it a double podium tonight? Yeah, good luck to you. Yeah. Yeah, so just rounding out the championship as well in P12 is Filthy for Blacklight Motorsport on 34 points. So I am ready to go whenever you are. We should just give the drivers the good to go and let them get in any last preparations that they might need to do. But looks like we're about to go straight into qualifying here. And of course, Gran Turismo 7, they've gifted us the in-game qualifying, which is spectacular because it means that we can actually see it does it all itself. We don't need to manually do our qualifying session. So it looks like qualifying is underway. The first person to get out is Carbonboy, actually. So followed by Killer on the Loose in 4th position on the timing charts, but of course we can see him as 2nd position on track. Dadson 3rd out of the garage for Dadson Racing, and his teammate behind 5th position on the timing charts, but he's 4th on track at the moment. Followed is Guru 17, followed very closely behind by Daz for Deeds. And Stranger follows Daz out, who has S mid behind him, and Grassis is behind S mid, which it says on here that Grassis is in P1 at the moment, even though he's 8th down. And that's who was that? That was Daz, who's just sitting by the side of the track. Maybe he's letting everyone through, or maybe maybe he's just had a technical fault there. I'm not too sure what's happened there. Oh, there's a few people. Easy takes off again. There's another person here. Who's this? It's Killer, who's just maybe waiting for some fresh air, just letting people through. Yeah, he was... Oh, he's almost pulled out in front of VF there, but VF seems to have given way to Killer as they round the final corner. And it'll be Carbonboy first across the line and start his flying lap. And as he rounds turn 1 at the moment, as he comes into the technical tight section of Sector 2, it's Sector 1 and Sector 2, as the sector split is in between these two. As he rounds the sector split there, it's a 24.9 for the first sector. And Dadson appears to be closing up to Carbonboy compared to the start of the lap. These are lower speed corners though, so expect the physical gap to actually close up. But the timed gap, we'll have to see when they come into the final sector, as the sector split is actually halfway down this back straight. Now this straight, it's absolutely massive. You really need to have a car that doesn't have a whole lot of downforce packed into it to be able to fully exploit the entire straight. As Dadson pops out the other side, and Carbonboy comes into the final hairpin. And we'll see what lap time he is going to make. I'm not too sure. I think the gap between Dadson and Carbonboy is just sort of closed up a little bit, but not a whole load. I think Dadson is pulled away from Gur as well. So let's see as they come across the line. As Carbonboy makes his way Across the finish line, what's it going to be? It's a 27.4 and a 27.2. 26.9. Gur goes quicker than Dadson. Straight to provisional pole position, and it's going to be Stranger across the line. Oh, this is a very disappointing time for Stranger. At the moment, he won't be happy with that. Pro will be the next across the line. Let's see where he goes. He goes 6th position ahead of Stranger. Killer next. Killer up to P2. Great lap from him. Just 13 milliseconds quicker than Dadson. And VF goes into 7th with his time. It'll be S-Mid next across the line. The last one across the line, I should say, in 11th position. Way off the back. So he's obviously had some sort of issues or letting people past or something like that. But yeah, Stranger in 10th position. He's one of the championship protagonists at the pointy end of the championship, of course. He's still hunting for his first win of the championship of the season. Last time out, he was rather unlucky. He was chasing down Dadson around Mount Panorama. It was Holden versus Ford, as a Stranger had a Holden livery on, a Holden Tribute livery, a HRT Peter Brock livery, if I remember correctly, and Dadson and the Dadson Racing Team cars were running the XR8 Falcon, the green-eyed monster. Of course, that's Craig Lowndes. So they were on Mount Panorama, and unfortunately he came close, but wasn't able to win that race. So he's looking for his maiden win of the season here. So Stranger did improve to a 27.2 and puts himself into P5. Prua 27.8 goes to P9. It'll be VF next across the line, doesn't improve. And next will be Daz, improves to a 27.5, puts himself into P8, S-Mid, and stays in P11, 3/10 off the back of Prua in 10th. So we're 5 minutes into this session now, and Gur has come out blazing and has got provisional pole position in his hands at the moment. So it's looking like a Dadson highly rated start to this qualifying session. I believe last time out at Bathurst it was the other way around. It was Dadson on pole position while Gur was in P4. So now Gur's actually sticking it to his team owner here and has said, no, this is my... Oh, Dadson goes wide, potentially to let Gur through, get the slipstream. Maybe that could have attributed to Gur's first fastest time, because the slipstream is just so powerful around here as they cross the line to start their 5th flying lap. And nobody's come into the pits yet. Oh, Stranger goes quickest, straight to pole position. Grassies improves to P3. And Benier improves to P6. Very tight at the point. And Prua at 27.4 doesn't improve in position, even though he's improved in time. So 26.8 from Stranger. That is absolutely blistering fast, as Gur is quickest through that first sector now. And so that was a very shocking time from Stranger. Goes straight to the top of the pile as he's cut the corner there. He might get a penalty. I'm not too sure about that one, but yeah, as they come around turn 10, that is the 90-degree right-hander, and there's technically 3 corners on this back straight, but it's sort of a corner similar to Austria Red Bull Ring, where the turn 2 on that track is still flat out. It's just a sort of left-handed kink. Is that Dadson? Yeah, it was Dadson has gone wide again at the hairpin, so he's really struggling with understeer. The championship leader, that is, as Grassies is right up under the rear wing as they both enter the pits to put a new fresh pair of boots on their cars. Gur improves to a 26.6. Oh my, absolutely incredible time from Gur, 26.6. Oh, he's stuck it to Stranger by 0.222 of a second. But Stranger was up by 3/10 coming into the final sector, and he's got it all wrong under brakes at the hairpin, and he's gone 1 millisecond slower. S-Mid improves to a 27.1, goes up to P5 from P11, gaining 6 positions with that time. So, oh, somebody's put on intermediates. I think Dadson just put on intermediate tires. Unfortunately, we don't have a second voice in the commentary box tonight to confirm that. But oh, I saw it flash on the screen, intermediate tires. So I guess we'll find it might be VF. No, it's not VF, because VF is going very slowly. He looks like he's struggling for grip. I have a feeling it was VF that put on those intermediate tires. I think only a few people pit just then, as Stranger comes into the pits to put on a new pair of boots. Gura crosses the line, doesn't improve, he's 0.6 down. It might be the time for Gura to be thinking about some more tires. 6 minutes left in this qualifying session. Looking pretty good so far. Oh, I am terribly sorry. I forgot to unmute the car sounds. Thank you very much, Ghost, for pointing that out. And I suppose you guys couldn't hear Carbonboy earlier. I'm terribly sorry for that. Carbonboy just said before the race that he was looking forward to some good racing, and it was Killer that put on the intermediate tyres. So must have just slipped. His finger must have just slipped and put on the intermediate tyres by accident. So he finds himself back in the pit lane to change out for a pair of softs. I almost said socks. Softs, you would assume. So, is he coming? Yes, as he puts on a pair of soft tyres, soft slick tyres. So that's lost him a little bit of running time, but it might just be beneficial for him here. 5 minutes in the qualifying session. Those tyres take 2 or 3 laps to fully warm up. So, Killer on the loose, he might have just, an accident could, it could be a blessing in disguise here. As Gura crosses the line, goes quicker again at 26.5. And Gura is not showing any signs of slowing down. But here's Stranger. Oh no, he's still on an out lap. But the next two set a lap will be Dadson. Let's see what he can do. He's currently 0.6 off his teammate. And comes under the Deep Forest Bridge. And what's it going to be as he crosses the line? Oh, he improves by a 10th and goes up a position. He beats out Carbonboy. As Grassy's goes quicker to P3. Improves his previous time by about a 10.5. So good stuff from Grassy's. As we see, I believe Stranger is on his flying lap at the moment. He is purple, so we'll ride on board with Stranger in his Aston Martin, his doghouse Aston Martin, as he comes through the second sector now, through the sweeper of turn 9 and into turn 10, gets on the brakes at the optimal point and on the power very early, being careful not to understeer wide. The penalties on that curb are very tight. If you go off that red and white ripple strip, you do get a penalty. Still purple by 0.2. This could be an absolutely incredible time from Stranger. Just revving out that car under brakes. Gets on the power early, being careful not to understeer wide. As let's see what lap time this is going to be. Comes down over the hill into the crescent. This is where the most acceleration is going to happen at the top end. Through 260 on the speedometer, 270, and he improves by a 1/4 of a 10th and goes to pole position. So magnificent lap time from Stranger here. Has Gurr got an answer? That's the question. As Gurr now finds himself, he's still on the front row, but in P2. It seems to be a 2-horse race in this qualifying session so far. As Stranger with a 26.5, a 4.99, and Gurr, as Gurr actually picks up a penalty there, so he's probably, I'm not too sure where he's picked that up. I believe he would have picked that up at turn 10. But as I was saying earlier, as Killer goes up into P4 with a 27 flat, good stuff from Killer. But as I was saying earlier, the back straight is actually made up of 3 corners. That is turns 11, 12, and 13, and then the hairpin of 14. So yeah, even though it's a straight line, and the lines that you can take through there basically make it straight, there are slight steering inputs that when you look at the track map, they do count as corners. Killer a 10.5 off Grassy, so he'll be very happy with this qualifying session. Killer just flying in his Viper at the moment. I've been told he really likes this track, so doing a good job for himself. So we'll run through the order at the moment. Is Strange going to go quicker? No, he does not. He's 2/10 off his best time. So we'll run through the order at the moment. Oh, Dadson improves. He doesn't improve in... Oh, no, he goes... No, he doesn't improve in position, but he does improve his time. So 27 flat now. Grassy's 26.8. Prua 27.4. So Prua puts himself into P9 with that lap time there. Oh, it would have been very tight. Yeah, looking at the timing screens, I believe Prua and Daz had set the same exact lap time. You can see there Prua's previous best lap time was a 1:27.533. Yeah, that's the same time that Daz has set here. So those guys with the same qualifying time, but Daz would have been higher as he set his first. As Stranger is down in his lap time, so we'll look away from Stranger. So qualifying order, some of these guys are going to get another lap. I believe all these guys on the back straight, they should get another lap. It's going to be very tight. But Stranger in P1, Gur in P2, Grassy's P3 for Lucky's Lawn Care, Killer for Red Mist in the Green Beacon car in P4, Dadson P5. The championship leader in the Div 2 prospect is what he's become known for. Is Dadson will be the first to cross the line and end his session. Wait, did he get around again? No, he's done. He's done. And we see all these guys crossing the line. Grassis improves to P. Oh, he's still in P3. I thought that was P2 for a second, but a 26.6, very respectable lap time in a Mercedes. Grassy's will be, he won't be very chuffed with that, as it's a very good lap. Unfortunately, he is only in P3 for such a spectacular lap. As Killer, he crosses the line. Can he improve? Cannot. And S-Mid improves to P5, just behind Killer. And there's 2 more people still on their laps. It'll be Daz next across the line. No, he does not improve. And it'll be Gur. Can Gur get the pole position as he comes into the bridge? It's going to be very tight, and he's going to get it. Oh, very tight. A 26.7 from Gur, and it'll be the last man across the line. Carbonboy finishes in P7. So we'll just have a look at the qualifying. It should be a... Oh no, it won't for us, but it is Stranger in pole position, Gur P2, Grassy's P3, Killer P4, S-Mid in P5, Dadson P6, Carbonboy P7, Benia P8, VF P9, Pro P10, and Daz P11. So we'll just go to our man on track at the moment. Carbonboy, what did you think of that qualifying session?
That went a lot better than expected.
Yeah, you were holding on to P4 since your first flying lap there, and then you just got edged out by Dadson in the latter stages, and S-Mid, and who else? Killer.
Killer is very quick in that Dodge Viper. He is making it work.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable in that Viper, and we have a great 50 minutes ahead of us, and looking forward to every single second of it. What did you think about the fight up front? It looked like Gur was going to get the pole position there, but Stranger just edged him out by 3/4 of a tenth. Very tight battle.
I'll be honest, I was not paying attention to anything else in that. I was paying attention to keeping all 4 wheels on the tarmac and not hitting walls.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, it was a good qualifying session to watch. Lots of thrills, and I reckon it's going to be a very tight race ahead of us. It could be the time for Stranger to get his first win of the season, but we'll have to wait and see whether fate has it, or it could be Gurr to get a second, or even we could see a charge through the pack from Dadson, who, for his caliber, his standards, he won't be happy with that P6 at all. So we could see him fighting his way through the pack tonight to take maybe potentially yet another historic win in his championship, and maybe extend his championship lead. But as it stands at the moment, Stranger will pick up the extra 2 points, and yeah, we're just waiting for the race to start. It's up to you to start it whenever you want, Carbonboy.
Let's push that big red button and let's get going.
Let's go racing. All right. So we're about to get underway. It's a rolling start here at Deep Forest. We've
Hopefully
had this start.
hopefully that does mitigate any potential dramas at turn 1, but let's wait and see.
Yeah, all the best luck to you, Carbonboy, and I'll talk to you after the race.
Thank you very much.
We're about to get underway. And we are green flag racing as a Stranger heads down towards turn 1. Gurr gets a decent start. He's just tagging along behind him. We see a bit of a move in the background. It looks like Dadson's going for a move on S-Mid. Not quite close enough to get that converted. As everybody seems to have sorted themselves out through turn 1. Very tight racing. And everyone's through cleanly. And now this is the part where, if anything is going to go wrong, it is going to happen at this part of the circuit. Oh, as we see someone off in the background. Who was that? Oh, I think it might have just been a little bit of luck. No, it was S-Mid. S-Mid's down in P10. And Dadson. S-Mid and Dadson have had it coming together. Oh, that's massive. Dadson finds himself in P11 at the back of the pack. He will not. This is not the start that the championship leader wanted. P11 currently. Oh, no, that's shocking. We just saw S-Mid take off through turn 5, resorting to the rumble, like the sausage curbs on the inside, but oh, that's definitely not what you want at the start of the race from these guys. But we look back up to the front, and Stranger holds his lead, and oh, Gurr's wide. Was there a bit of contact from Grassy's? As Killer's got a sniff on Grassy's as well. As we see, everybody seems to have got through cleanly. Oh, I think there's some small contacts going on around the pack, but for now it looks like everybody's holding on to themselves and keeping their composure. As Killer, Grassy's goes defensive. Killer goes through into P3. Oh, as Grassy's dives down the inside. Does he get it pulled up? Yes, he does, but Killer's going to try around the outside. Oh, does Killer hold it? He's got the inside line for the next corner, and he takes the position. Grassy's backs out. That's some good stuff from these guys. Good racing. Killer to hold it around the outside. Let's have a look on the Next Level Racing action replays. They barrel down towards turn 1. Killer got the position, then Grassy's tried to just send it down the inside and hold the inside line, but Killer said no, and he holds it around the outside. That's some good stuff from Killer, using his experience to good use there, and gets himself into the podium places. He'll be very happy with that. We hear some tyre squealing in the background as they come through turn 9. But holding on to themselves. Oh, somebody's really far off the back. Daz has had a massive moment. He didn't have a good day out at Bathurst either, so finds himself 15 seconds off the leader and 7 seconds off the back of Dadson. Dadson unfortunately unable to make a position on S-Mid. It looks like he's actually dropped back off the back of oh, and Prua's dropped down as well. S-Mid's got past Prua, so everything's kicking off back there. But Stranger currently in P1. He's just plodding along now at 27.3 for race pace. He's got a 1.6 second gap to Gurr behind. So doing good for himself. As Stickers commends the pass by Killer. It was a very good move indeed, and I'm sure Killer will love to watch that one back on the replay if he watches it. If he watches it back tonight. That was a very nice move. I love to watch it. That's the kind of stuff that Deep Forest gives us, and we're always expecting some good racing from Deep Forest. That gap just edging out to almost 2 seconds now, but as we've seen time and time again throughout the season so far, Gur's really light-footed on his tyres, and he's good on his fuel as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if Gur was just conserving his car. As we see Killer and Grassy's, they're going at it again, hammer and tongs. Grassy's 2 tenths behind. Is he just going to sit behind, or is he going to have none of this nonsense and go straight for the move as they head towards the braking zone? As it seems like Killer's got that car definitely hooked up in a straight line, as he's actually extended his lead on Killer, on Grassy's Killer, sorry. Down that main straight, despite Grassy's having the slipstream. So if that tells you something about the straight line speed of the Mercedes, it's that you can see Grassy's really struggling in the second part of this lap. As we see Benia on the back of Carbonboy. Is he going to go for a move? He does. Sends it down the inside into turn 1. Oh, but Carbonboy covers off. Oh, there's a bit of contact. But Carbonboy covers off well through turn 1, braking very late. As we see, as Carbonboy's actually conceded the position there, so trying to let off and fight for another day, Carbonboy maybe, so just concedes the position to Benia. P6, started P7, so doing a good job, Carbonboy in P6 so far. As we see, Dadson's made his way past Pruer as well, a bit of a gap to Esmond behind, but I definitely want to see a massive fight from Dadson. I want to see him up there at the front by the end of this race, and if there's any man that can do it in this division, it's Dadson. He's proven that so far this season, always being at the pointy end. His lowest position so far this season was P4 in a wet Autopolis. Sudden downpour of rain left a lot of cars stranded in that race, including Dadson himself, but to be able to get a P4 finished at the end of that one, and being his worst position so far, he is absolutely on fire this season. Currently sitting in P9 for this one. The points difference between Stranger and Dadson at the current second would see Stranger with a 3-point advantage with that pole position in the championship fight. Of course, drivers do get a drop round this season, and Stranger, I believe Stranger's worst position so far has been a 7th at Trial Mountain. I might need a fact checked for that one, but if I remember correctly, that is what it is. As we see, I thought I saw somebody going a little bit wide in the background there. Maybe S mid, just a little bit offline, but VF right on the back of Carbonboy now. VF is knocking on the back door of Carbonboy. He wants to get through. VF hasn't had one of his better seasons. He's sort of been quiet. He's sort of been hanging around the mid to bottom of the packs, but he's looking very, very racy today. As we see Asmid on the back of VF, as he dives down the inside. Can he get it pulled up? He does, and he gets the move. That's a very clinical move there from VF. So good stuff from VF. S-Mid up into P7, and we'll just have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay of that one as they come down, and textbook move from S-Mid. Just steps out of the slipstream, sends it down the inside, and stops on the apex to cover VF off. So good stuff from S-Mid to get that position. Meanwhile, VF, he was threatening Carbonboy, but he needed to look behind to S-Mid. And S-Mid, after that lap 1 incident, he's still eyes forward. So he is pushing hard to get as high up as he can, as quick as he can. We saw him challenge for the win at Trial Mountain. He was very racy that day. Unfortunately, the strategy just sort of let him down in the latter stages of that race. But we haven't really seen anything like that from Esmid throughout this. Oh, that's going to hurt him real bad. 1 second penalty for Esmid. Not good at all. I would assume he picked that up on the exit of turn 6, I would assume. There's a green bit of AstroTurf there, and he burns that penalty. How many positions is he going to lose? He's going to drop all the way back behind Dadson, potentially. Oh, he hasn't even lost that much time, to be honest. Oh, doesn't run up the back of Esmid. Oh, Esmid might get another penalty because of the contact. Ooh, this is... Oh, I don't know, but they keep going. And Dadson just falling off the back, about 8/10 off the back of Esmid at the present moment. Looking up front again, Gurr has really closed up that gap to Stranger. It's currently sitting at 1.2, was 2 seconds. And Gurr has also extended the gap behind from to Killer to 1.5. And just repeating what Petey Pop said on track, the penalties do suck around here. They are very harsh, and they lose you a lot more time than the penalty number might actually suggest. There's so many places where you make one small error and you get slapped with a half-second or second penalty. I've even seen at some places, if you're going quick enough, you could receive a 1.5 second penalty, and that's really a race killer, a 1.5 second penalty. Potentially, Stranger may have got a penalty that we haven't seen. So, as Killer drops to 2.4 seconds behind Gurr now, so just a small mistake from Killer. He's not so confident in that first middle sector sort of place. It looks like Grass is going wide. Oh, he might get a penalty for that. We'll have to see what the stewards, or the GT7 stewards have to say about that. The Deep Forest stewards, as it's not the Sector 1 officials that control the penalties for Track Limited, is of course Gran Turismo 7 itself. It seems like Stranger has his car hooked up for this tight and technical section, while Gurr sort of has the straight line speed tuned into his car. So, as we see that gap going back up, it's sort of edging out to 1.5 seconds. But then when they get back onto the straights, you'll see Gurr just reel in Stranger and get that gap back down to about a second distance. So, as we see, Grass is really pressuring Killer now. Very, very close behind, under his rear wing. Is he going to get the move done? I just don't think Grass has the straight line speed in that Mercedes to get the move completed on Killer as they come down through into turn 14 now. Yeah, see, that gap has just gone up a massive amount again. It's almost doubled just because of the straight line speed. So I think that's really hurting Grassy. So I don't really see a way that he's going to get past Killer. As long as Killer doesn't get a penalty, I think that's the only reason that Grassy would find his way past Killer in this scenario. As we see Stranger set the fastest lap of the race of a 26.7, blistering times. That's very close to his qualifying time, actually. So flying, absolutely flying. Can Stranger hold on to this one? That's the question. Get the first win for Doghouse Motorsport. It is, of course, the Doghouse Motorsport's first inaugural season in Sector 1. Stranger is the owner of that team. So we just got to wait and see what... it's still a long way to go. There's 35 minutes left in this race. Anything can happen as that gap goes out to 1.8 seconds now. So round turn 10. As we see Killer still under pressure from Grassy's. That gap, but see what I mean? Just watch this. As soon as he gets on the throttle, he just pulls away from Grassy's. Like, Grassy's is in the slipstream, but he's still just dropping further and further back each time. That gap almost 6/10 as they come into the braking zone. But what it also means is that Grassy's can be so much later on the brakes. As we see Benia, he got past Carbonboy. I'm not too sure when that happened, but he is past him now. And Dadson he's got past S-Mid. So that's crucial in this race. Dadson is ahead of S-Mid. I think S-Mid just had a few penalties. And Dadson, his eyes forward now. Can he get VF? VF sitting in 7th position behind Carbonboy. So they come down to the braking zone. Oh, Dadson very, very deep. That tailwind at the end of turn 1, it's 2.3 meters per second at the moment. So very gusty down there. Seems like Dadson just misjudged his braking with the wind. And now sitting just a little bit behind VF, about 7/10. But that gap is just closing up the further they go through this tight and technical section. As we look up, we see Carbonboy still, he's pressuring Benia. So he's going to be eyes forward. He did start P6, Carbonboy. So wanting to get this move done, improve his position. Very good stuff so far from these guys. Everyone's keeping it clean at the moment. And we're seeing some good racing action. What you love to see. This is why I so highly rate this Division 3 category. They always keep it clean. Oh, I thought I saw VF go. He had a sniff of a move, but he couldn't execute it in the way that he would have liked. But yeah, these guys always put on great entertainment, great racing action, and they keep it clean in the process. The Division 3 guys, one of the greatest racing championships we have on offer here at Sector 1. And it's such a great thing to watch as the prequel to the Division 1 race, where we have aliens on Earth racing for us and duking it out in the best possible way. Dadson right on the back of VF now. He's knocking on the back door. He wants the position. 7th position is Dadson's if he can just get past VF, who is also very close to Carbonboy in turn. So Dadson in the next few laps could be seeing a couple more positions go his way if he can get that Aston Martin hooked up. That gorgeous Dadson, that golden Dadson Aston Martin. So looking very good. Yeah, as Petey Pop said, it's Stranger and Gur are brothers. So seeing these guys at the pointy end of Division 3 and duking it out is just great stuff to watch. As we see, oh, Prue has had a bit of a moment. He finds himself 5 seconds off the back of S-Mid. It could just be the pace difference. So don't want to speculate, jump to any conclusions or assumptions at the moment. But Daz really not having a good day at the office. His fastest lap is only a 28.4, which was set on the last lap. So having major difficulties with his Mercedes so far. Stranger, the gap 1.5 to Gur. As Gur sends it, he's still in the hunt for this win here tonight. Trying to steal it from his brother, Stranger, and claim his second of the season. Killer in P3 still trying to fend off Grassies, but Killer definitely has Grassies in a straight line, that is certain. As Grassies tries a different line through turn 10, trying to get a good exit, and I think it's all going to be in vain, as we see as soon as Killer puts his foot on the power, that gap just extends further and further. Oh, I don't see any way of Grassies getting past Killer unless Killer gets a penalty. There's just no way. It's not possible because Grassies hasn't got the straight line speed. As he gets a good exit, actually, he's going to be right up under the wing, but you just see that gap once again extending out. It's all just in vain for Grassies. He gets so close. He gets one hand past Killer, and then he gets kicked in the shin and drops another 5/10 back on the straights. So such a difficult track to get the right tune. You need to have a car that's good in the technical bits, but also good in a straight line. And it looks like Grassies, the Mercedes isn't good in a straight line to begin with. So it looks like he's tried to just create a tune that's worked with the strengths of the Mercedes, which is the tight and technical section of this circuit. and it's just left him a little bit bare when it comes to the back-to-back straights, ranging from turn 10 all the way to turn 1 on the next lap. As we see him even closer than last time, a 1/10.5. And he gets the exit he needed, but it's still not going to be enough. As we see all of a sudden, Keeler just edges further and further away. Oh, it must be so frustrating for Grassies, getting so close and then having it all thrown away every time. So Carbonboy's under fire from VF. Can VF stick it down the inside? No, he holds his line. And this is a very good battle pack forming between 5th to 8th position between Benia, Carbonboy, VF and Dadson. Good stuff from everyone involved here. As we see them come through to start their 14th lap. They're on the pit straight at the moment. The finish line is about halfway down this straight as they cross it now. The current pace is about 28 on the dots, roughly. 27s, 28s seems to be the race pace from these guys. As we see Esmid, something's happened to Esmid. He's made a mistake, 2 mistakes I believe. So you look at his lap times, lap 9 and lap 13, 29.5 and 29.2 for those ones. And he's just sort of fallen back into the clutches of Pruer. But Pruer, he's just plugging along. I don't think he's made any mistakes per se. It's just that he's struggling in that Mercedes. It seems the Mercedes are not the strongest cars around this track because of the straight line element to the circuit, as compared to a track like Autopolis where they were very dominant because you could stay in 5th gear. You didn't need your 6th gear because the straights just weren't long enough for that. Looking back up front, we see Gurr falling off the back of Stranger to about 2 seconds now, the gap. So 20 minutes into this race, I reckon in the next 3 or 4 laps, I reckon these guys will be thinking about coming in for their pit stops. They're only required to do 1, but I've heard whispers of a 2-stop. I think if these guys wanted to try the 2-stop, they're pretty much missing the boat. I think this would be their last opportunity to enter the pits, which doesn't look like anybody is. So 1 stop's through. Ooh, as we see VF. He's gonna get a penalty for that, I think. Maybe. It looks like he's got away with it for now. He was very wide through turn 1. That's going wide at turn 1 on the exit is one of the main places you can pick up a penalty, but it looks like VF, he's millimeter perfect, just stayed away from that limit that would cause him to get a half-second penalty. And we still have a very tight battle pack. Oh, it's all kicking off! A bit of oversteer from Carbonboy as VF is going to get a sniff. He's got the slipstream on Dadson. Is Carbonboy going to pull back in? Oh, it looks like VF hasn't got the straight line speed either. He's going to try for a move. Can he get it done on Carbonboy as they come out of the tunnel into the braking zone? No, he can't get it done. So even with a mistake, the straight line speed of the Aston Martin with the slipstream in front from Dadson and Benia, it's still not enough to get that move done. As we see Esmid, a man on a mission, he's closed up that gap by another 1.5 seconds since last time we saw him. So, incredible stuff, but I've got to mention, Dadson is in front of Carbonboy. So Dadson, also a man on a mission, into P6. He was in P11 on lap 1, so already made up 5 positions, Dadson. Incredible stuff from the championship leader, showing us why he is on top of the championship. As they come through the first sector now, starting the second sector on the 16th lap, these guys still bumper to bumper. This is magnificent racing. This is exactly what Sector 1 is about. Just clean, hard racing. And that's what these guys are doing. Carbonboy very close on the back of Dadson. And he gets half a sniff. Thinks about a move down the inside, but can't quite get it done. And they're still bumper to bumper. Could we see a move from Carbonboy on Dadson, as VF is even closer to Carbonboy than last time. Is he going to dive down the inside? No. So these guys very disciplined, great racecraft from these four. Benia seems to just be edging a bit of a gap to Dadson, 7/10 that gap currently. As we see a 1 second gap form between Killer and Grassy's. So that'll be crucial for Killer's podium chances tonight. Very quick and consistent lap times from Killer at the moment. 27.2, 27.1 is quickest through to a 27.7. So, very consistent, keeping his car within 6/10 so far during the entire stint. So, 18 laps, people were saying, but looking at the race timer, 25 minutes left. I reckon this lap or next lap, you could be seeing all the pit stops, everybody coming in. As these guys, Dadson still pressuring the back of VF, and Carbonboy goes through. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide. As Dadson gets through, does he get through? Yes, Dadson goes into P5. And who's it going to be? Will Carbonboy be able to make a move down the inside? No, Carbonboy switches back across to the right-hand side, and he's going to try around the outside, get the slipstream from Dadson. Oh, there's contact! There's contact! Oh my! Oh, Benia, he's just pushed Dadson, but I think the contactors saw him worse off than Dadson. As it seems it's just slowed him down. As we see everybody coming to the pits. So we'll just have a little chat with Carbonboy. Are you there, Carbonboy?
I am indeed. I'm a little hot and sweaty, but I'm here.
Yeah, this is some magnificent racing we're having so far. So everybody else is pit at the moment, and you've stayed out. What's the thought process behind that?
Well, Grassy's is also out ahead of me, or is he already pitted?
Grassy's is, yeah, staying out as well, yeah.
The thought process is, in my practice sessions, I found I could quite easily do 18 laps before the pit stop, so I'm basically sticking with what I know. Whether that comes back to bite me or not remains to be seen, but I'm hoping some fresher tyres at the end of the race will help me out a little bit, because Benia, Dadson and VF certainly have some pace on them.
Yeah, that was some great racing we're seeing from you for earlier. Hopefully the overcut that you have here, staying out an extra lap, benefits you come the end of the race. So
hoping the fuel save will as well.
Yeah, that's a massive fuel save. That's a great job. Just sitting in the slipstream of the guys in front. So I'll leave you be. Good luck for the second half of the race, and you're doing a good job. Just hold in there, Carbonboy.
Thank you very much. Have fun.
So as we see Stranger, he rounds the final corner, and he's going to be out well ahead of Grassy's. As we see, Grassy's comes out of the pits now, yes, and he's going to be just behind Killer. So more or less the same sort of strategy. I mean, not strategy, more or less the same time for both of these guys. But Killer, of course, has an extra lap in hand where he's heated up those tires. So Grassy's, you'll see the the distance between these two guys just extend out, especially in this technical section, as Grassy still needs to warm up his tires and wear them in, sort of scruff them up as he comes through here. And he's currently sitting a second off the back of Killer, as Carbonboy has come out way ahead of Dadson, VF and Benia. So the fuel save, that extra 10% of fuel that we saw compared to the guys behind, that's worked massively in his favour, and he's in P5. he's jumped a lot of them. It's a 1.4 second gap, and he debatably has the better car. That gap is going to come down for the next 1 or 2 laps as he warms up those tyres, but he's got the overcut done. He's got track position. It's just about driving it home at this point. So great job from Carbonboy from Session Motorsport. The orange wheels on that Gallagher of Session Motorsport car giving Carbonboy some good luck. And after his holiday, which saw him miss 2 races at Trial Mountain and Autopolis, he came back for Bathurst last week and got a podium, and now sitting in P5. So you just see that gap though, as I said earlier. Dadson just closing that up as he's got superior warmer tyres. That is massive. A small mistake from Carbonboy. We could see him move pretty shortly. And yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Stickers. VF has jumped a couple as well. He finds himself in P7, jumping Benia, and he is still in that battle pack for sure. As we see Carbonboy a 10th ahead of Dadson, as Dadson goes for the move around the outside. And he's going to get that well and truly done before the corner, but Carbonboy very confident under brakes. Can he hold the move? No, he backs out of it. So that's a textbook move from Dadson. Good stuff, and he holds the position. But Carbonboy's going to have another go at him as they come down the back straight. And is he going to be in the slipstream? I'm not too sure. That gap's sort of holding out at about 3.5 tenths at the moment. So yeah, textbook stuff from Dadson there to get the move done on Carbonboy, as Carbonboy not close enough to make a move, but Carbonboy's also got to be thinking about VF, because VF still just waiting in the wings, hanging off behind, and one small mistake from either of these drivers, VF is immediately going to capitalize on. And we've seen VF is a very fast operator given the right circumstances, and he's hanging with the best of Division 3 today, and sticking it to him, holding his own. He's doing a great job, VF. He'll be very happy with his performance so far. If he can get the car home, it'll be even better. 20 minutes remaining in this race. I don't imagine anybody else will make a pit stop during this race. Oh, Benny has made a mistake. Benny has fallen off the back of Esmid. Esmid goes through, so something's definitely happened. As Esmid gets half-second penalty, which he'll burn on the next lap. Not too sure where he's picked that up, but he does have the half-second penalty. And we'll look around. We have that gap between Stranger and Gurr just sitting at 2.2 seconds. Gurr absolutely flying. He's actually done it in the first stint. A 26.3. That's pole position. That would have been pole position. And he's done that way before the stop, as we see the current lap times are 27.6 and a 27.75 after his pit stop. Are his 2 quickest laps, and he just looks like he's getting quicker and quicker. But yeah, that's very interesting to see that nobody's improved on their lap time. But every update that Polyphony release, there's inevitably some sort of tyre model change, and it seems like this update they have changed the tyre model in that they take a lot longer to warm up. So tyre preparation and easing them in is really emphasized and promoted by Polyphony in this new update. So you'll see the quicker lap times come later on in the stint, as opposed to the start, as Stranger opens up that gap to 3 seconds. So as it stands, the gap between Stranger and Gurr, it currently is 1 point, but by the end of this race, Stranger will have a 4-point advantage, because the 3 points by finishing position, and 2 points with pole position is 5, and then minus the 1 point that Gur has currently for fastest lap, and then the extra 1 point. It's a 5-point gap between these two, and I think Stranger and Dadson will be even on points or within 1 point. So this championship is definitely shaping up. It's massive at the moment. As Dadson makes his way past Carbonboy, finds himself in P5. So doing a great job, Dadson. Made up 6 positions in this race so far after that lap 1 incident. He makes his way back to where he started, and Dadson still eyes forward. It's going to be a bit optimistic to catch Grassis and Killer, but I mean, anything's possible in Division 3. Anything can happen as comes into turn 14 for the 23rd time this race. 16 minutes left on the clock. As I said, anything can happen in Division 3. It's not over till it's over in Division 3. As we saw last week, a 7-second gap between Dadson and Stranger was gone by the end of the race. And we saw a final lap showdown where Dadson took the win in that. So, yeah, doing a good job for himself tonight. So we'll just run through the order currently. So it's Stranger ahead of Gur, ahead of Killer, and Grassy's P4, Dadson in 5th, Carbonboy 6th, VF 7th, Esmid in 8th, Benny in 9th, Prua 10th, and Daz in P11. As we look down the pack now, we see Carbonboy under pressure from VF currently. So once again, I think the Viper it just doesn't have the legs to get the move done. As we see that gap, it is actually coming down 2.5 tenths. VF could have a sniff here, but he doesn't get that move done. So in a straight line, when the Viper has slipstream, the Aston Viper are very closely matched in terms of straight line speed. As we saw VF, he's going to get another bite of the cherry here as they come through turn 1. Let's just see whether he gets this move done. 2.5 tenths the gap. Is he going to send it down the inside? No, he just thinks about the greater picture here, and decides that it's best to just sit behind Carbonboy, conserve his tyres and fuel, and make a move before the end of the race. There's 13 minutes left, so anything can happen. Anything can happen. As they come through to start the second sector. Looks like VF just hanging on the back of Carbonboy. VF once again going to close up that gap as they head down the long back straight through turns 12, 13 and 14. That are really nothing corners. They're flat out, a little tap to the right, tap to the left, tap to the right, and that's all those 3 corners are. As Carbonboy a little bit deep, but comes back for the late apex. That's a good corner. It looked like he was going deep for a second, but so good on the brakes, Carbonboy. So confident in that Aston Martin, and holds the gap to VF behind at about 4 tenths. I don't think VF is going to be close enough on this occasion either, as that gap is definitely coming down. It's going to be about 2.5 tenths. It's exponential at the moment, but ooh, not quite close enough. So we see Dadson, he's on a charge. He wants this P4 to keep his record alive at the moment of lowest position being a P4, and that's a pretty handy stat if you think about it. 4 seconds to the bad now, Dadson, as compared to Grassy's. let's just ride on board with Dadson at the moment and see how much he actually catches up in a straight line compared to Grassy. So Grassy, I don't think has the slipstream at the moment. You can just see that gap coming down, down, down. 4.5, 4. Yeah, it's going to stay about 4.5 seconds. And we'll see again. That gap just shot up because the Mercedes is so good it can turn on a dime through that hairpin. But then Dadson is just going to close up, and he's not really closing up too much at the moment. 4.8 goes down to 4.7. Yeah, so he hasn't really gained as much as you would expect, but he's still doing a good job. Dadson in a straight line, as we see Russ is just more confident through the first sector, as we see a bit more gap opening up between those two. So just going to keep monitoring that gap as time goes on. Only 10 minutes remaining in this race. VF still right on the back of Carbonboy, so doing a brilliant job, VF. VF just being able to stick behind Carbonboy, displaying a great set of racecraft that he has shown us throughout the seasons. Currently the gap 4.5 tenths. So I think Womble wants to have a look at Killer and Grassy's. The gap is 1.3 seconds. That's not a whole lot, but it's a bit of breathing room for Killer. But yeah, the gap 1.4, you just see yet again Killer in the straight line speed of that Viper compared to the straight line speed of the Mercedes. It's just too much. And even at the start or during that first stint, I didn't really see a way of Grassy's getting past Killer. Oh! As Killer gets a half-second penalty. It's on now. Could Grassy's get this move done? The gap's 6 tenths. It could be all over for Killer. His podium hopes could have just ended with this half-second penalty, but I don't think he'll have too much of an issue getting back past Grassy's if he can. So let's see, can Grassy's get the move with this half-second penalty that is currently sitting on Killer's head? Will he get him? He's right in the slipstream. Can he get the move done? He dives down the inside and he gets it done. Clinical move from Grassy's. And he'll be glad that's over. Oh, wait, where's he gone? Oh, no! Grassy's is gone! Oh, Grassy's! Oh, so what's happened there is he just got stuck under brakes, I think. Let's just have a look on the Next Level Racing action replays. They come through the tunnel, and he's used every last bit of the slipstream. Killer moves over. Grassy's sends it down the inside. He's just so late under brakes and outbrakes himself. And unlucky for Grassy's, and he has to do it all over again. That was the golden opportunity for Grassy's to get in front of Killer, but it's all been in vain as he's outbroke himself into the braking zone, and Killer gets another chance to glory, another chance at the podium, which he currently has a 1.3 second gap to Grassy's. So, he'll be chuffed with this. Brilliant performance from Killer so far. 7.5 minutes left on the clock. There should be about another 5 laps left in this race. As you see Dadson edging himself into a bit of no man's land. A Carbonboy under pressure yet again from VF. It seems like this 4/10 gap just keeps coming back and back to haunt VF. He can't get quite closer than 3/10 by the braking zone, and he's not as confident under brakes as Carbonboy. As he's He actually goes wide there. He might even pick up a penalty because of that. And yeah, he does. Oh, VF. Oh, I'm afraid he might have just thrown it all away. His chances of a P6. But he's got a fairly hefty gap to Esmid and Benia behind, which Benia, it looks like he could be on for a move on Esmid. He's just closed up that gap to Esmid, looking for a P8. Now, someone who hasn't got a lot of screen time tonight is Pro, as he spent most of the race just in fresh air, not bothering anyone at the moment. He's had a bit of a quiet one. His lap time's very consistent, only 28s on screen. No 29s, no 27s since lap 21. So doing a good job, Pro, just plugging away. And Daz in P11. He's had a good second stint. Looks like he's made one mistake, maybe two. But, not a good day out in the office for Daz. He won't be too happy with that performance. On his good day, he can compete with the best of Division 3, but unfortunately this is not one of those days for Daz. Stranger up front now, 2.2 second gap to Gurr in P2. As Gurr, he does close up that gap by about 8/10 on the last lap. So I think now is when Gurr needs to put his foot to the metal, foot to the floor, if he wants to take this win from Stranger's hands. As we see, Gurr, he really wants this win, but so does Stranger. And with 5 minutes remaining in this race, it could go the way of Stranger. .4 seconds between these two, and then 5.6 back to Gracis. Back to Killer, who is 1.3 seconds ahead of Gracis. Sorry, I got a little bit ahead of myself there. And it looks like, for the most part, Gracis is still on a charge. It seems like the dirty air from the Viper just doesn't help Killer at all. Gracis at all, trying to follow Killer. And then also the straight line speed is where that Mercedes suffers. So we see Dadson, he's holding that gap to about 4.8 seconds. We haven't really seen much progress forwards or backwards from Dadson in this race, but I'm sure after that lap 1 incident, Dadson will still be very happy with a P5 today. Only positive things to say about Dadson in this race. Basically started P11 and now he finds himself in P5, so 6 positions gained. I don't think that's a bad job at all, so brilliant stuff. But we're seeing brilliant stuff up and down the paddock. We see Stranger and Gurr, Killer, Gracis, Dadson, Carbonboy, VF, even Benia. I mean, these names, they're just so good. Like, they've had such good races tonight, and there's not much more to say, honestly. Any one of these guys, you can say they've had a great race. And there's only one person that can win it, and at the moment, Stranger and Gurr is a very tight race at the top. 1.5 seconds between these two. We could have another final lap showdown. This is going to be a very tight race here at Deep Forest in Switzerland. We're right on board with Gurr and just see, let's see how he tackles this course in his bid to try and close up that gap to Stranger. So we see the lap times coming down for Gurr, 27.3. He's just getting quicker and quicker each lap. His fastest lap this stint looks like a 27.0, which is of course 7/10 off his best lap time, which he did in stint 1, unbelievably. As the rounds comes into the second sector, and through turn 8 now and into turn 9, the sweeping left-hander. You have to be careful not to let the back end step out on you through turn 9 as he comes through turn 10. Seems to be good to have a very good exit. 1.4 seconds the gap, not quite in slipstream range. That rests around 1 second with a major difference coming in at about 7.5 tenths as 1.3 seconds the gap as he comes to the braking zone. Gets the car turned in on the power early and using all of the available curbage available to him. Seems like Stranger was just able to pivot his car quicker and get on the power earlier than Gur, but that gap just coming down slightly again, 1.4 seconds. Once again that gap as they cross the line. 1 minute remaining, so this is going to be the last lap. This is going to be it. They're only going to get one more bite at the cherry. As Stranger, will he crumble under the pressure? 1.7 second gap, he just needs to drive it home. As Gur is slightly down on his best time, 3 tenths to be precise. Killer, oh my goodness, Killer's made a mistake. 3 tenths, this is for the podium. Can Grassies get through? That's the question today. 2 tenths the gap as they come down into the second to last braking zone on the track. It looks like Grassies has made a mistake. He's gonna, oh my, has Killer underfueled? Has Killer underfueled? Grassies, he's gonna get the podium. It's 2 tenths the gap. He's gonna have an opportunity. Womble at Red Mist. This is not what you want. Grassies is gonna go for it. Killer goes defensive. Can Grassies get the move done? That's the question. No, he cannot. He's right on the back. 2 tenths the gap. 1.6. Can Killer hold on? It's going to be Stranger to cross the line in P1, followed by Gur in P2. But looking back, can Grassies get it done? This is such a close finish. And he doesn't. Killer holds on for P3. Grassies a 10.5 down. And Dadson, damage limitation P5. Carbonboy P6. VF P7 as Benia rounds the final corner, and it's going to be a P8 for Benia, who gets past S-Mid there, who will round the finish line in P9. Prua coming through in P10 for Obsession Motorsport. A quiet day out for Prua. Crosses the line P10, and we see Daz coming through to complete the finishing order in P11. So Filthy was the man missing today. I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier, but yeah, normally we have 12 people there. So that was a very entertaining race, that one. And we'll just talk to Carbonboy. How was that for a race?
I truly hope it was entertaining for you and everybody watching, because it was absolutely insane from my perspective.
Yeah, you held on against VF. He was maintaining that gap at about 4 tenths the entire second stint. So
VF, my old sparring partner from previous seasons, we've had many a good battle, and it's good to be back in it with him. He's a great driver. He's very quick, very clean as well. So I have absolutely no issues with him running bumper to bumper. At the same time, having him 4 tenths on your back bumper for 10-15 laps is very nerve-wracking, to say the least.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
am drenched in sweat right now.
Yeah, it looked like he just didn't have the straight line speed in the Viper to be able to get the move done. But you drove very consistently and managed to hold him off, which props to you. That was a good race to watch, for sure.
I'd just like to throw it out there, looking at the results. I'd like to throw out my Driver of the Day nomination for Killer on the Loose, bringing home P3. That was an amazing drive, I think.
Yeah, I think he ran out of fuel on the final lap, and 1/10 the gap to Grassies. So, yeah, I think it was a great race from Killer and a debut win this season for Stranger. But of course, I think I also have to give it to Killer. It was just a great race from him, and he's held on in spectacular fashion to P3, and you'll be very happy with that finish.
Definitely a big congratulations goes to the Stranger for taking the win. He's been working hard all season. He's always been there or thereabouts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
to the top
Stranger,
step.
his best finish so far this season was a P2, and he's just upped that and gets his maiden win of the season in round 5. And I believe with Dadson's P5 finish that he has actually taken the championship lead with that pole position, extra 2 points that he gains from the pole position. Fortunately, couldn't max out on the points today as Gurr got the fastest lap of the race with a 1:26.3, but yeah, it was great to watch for sure. So before we jump into the Division 1 race, we'll just have a 5-minute intermission, just to let everybody have a bit of a drink of water, go to the toilet if need be, and get the next lobby up as Carbonboy is doing double duties for us tonight and helping out with the Division 1 race. He'll be the race director for that. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. So intermission, guys. Be right back. Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for what is going to be an absolutely magnificent Division 1 race here tonight. I think all the drivers are in and ready to go for qualifying. The intermission was extended by a short period of time just because of some technical difficulties. But we're all ready to go now. It looks like everybody's running trouble-free. And while we have a chance, we'll just have a look at the championship points for Division 1. So leading the way in Division 1 is Distinct Andrew for Ascension Racing on 119 points. It is the most dominant lead out of any driver currently in Sector 1. He does, of course, have a 30-point lead over GTR, who is in P2 for Ragged Eggs Racing on 89 points. Morgan Davey for Deeds on 83 in third. Corey Hack in fourth for Red Mist. Ricky Bobby fifth for Obsession. Sixth is Kiwi Raikkonen for Dadson. Seventh, Corgi, his FSR teammate for Blacklight. And then Hellraiser in 8th position for CP. Knuckles in P9 for Lucky's Lawn Care Racing. Karen Unleashed in P10 for Deeds. ASR Atom in 11th for Ascension. 12th is Luck Goes My Way for Lucky's Lawn Care Racing. Captain Muffin in 13th for CP. And Geesh Lol in P14 for Ascension Racing. So that's only the top 14 drivers. I believe there's technically 18 drivers who have raced in Division 1 this season. We only have 10 runners tonight. So we're just missing a couple of people. Which by the looks of it, it looks like we're missing, I believe we're missing GTR, Muffin, Corgi, and somebody else. Or is that it?
I believe that is it.
Okay. So, we're ready to go.
Kick off qualifying?
Yeah, whenever you're ready, and I think all the drivers are ready to go. So,
let's go then.
We're getting underway for this qualifying session. It's round 5 here at Deep Forest for Division 1. And qualifying is
go.
And the 15-minute qualifying has started. It looks like the first one out of the pits is Ricky Bobby. Obsession Motorsport. He is our Obsession teammate. And followed behind is just 2 of the Ascension boys. It is ASR Atom and... Oh no, yeah, it's Geesh. It's Geesh, then Adam, and then Hellraiser splits Andrew from the other 2 Ascension boys. So we have 3 very quick operators for Ascension. We saw last week Distinct Andrew dominated the race at Bathurst, as well as his 2 Ascension Racing teammates who were P4 and P5, I'm pretty sure, in that order. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Or did Adam get the podium, or was it Corgi? I would have to have a look at that and get a fact check for that.
Off the top of my head, I think it was Atom who got the podium.
Okay, it sounds like it checks out.
Karen's having a few moments at the final hairpin.
That's Karen Unleashed for Deeds Racing.
He's managed to avoid crashing into anyone, so credit to him.
Yeah, Kiwi Raikkonen right on the rear bumper of Karen at the moment as they begin their first flying lap. And I think Kiwi Raikkonen's lap is going to be a little bit hindered. Both of the Corvettes. We saw him duke it out last week on the mountain. Kiwi Raikkonen had a very uncharacteristic race. Found himself towards the back of the pack. He's normally at the pointy end, Kiwi Raikkonen. Looks like Karen's just holding him up at the moment as Karen gets out of the way and lets Kiwi through. So that's some good sportsmanship from Karen Unleashed. We've seen that happen time after time. He's had a massive oversteer moment there. And he's let past Corey and Nux. So we look up to the front.
ASR
Ricky
Adam
Bobby.
picking up a penalty there for running a bit wide out of the corner.
As we see Ricky Bobby, he's going to be the first one to set a lap time, and the split coming down at the back of the hairpin, it's looking like it's going to be a decent time. According to Womble, he hopes we're going to see a 1:24 in qualifying tonight, and I believe him. Oh, 26.9 for Ricky Bobby, first flying lap. Geez, 25.9, 25 straight off the bat. Hellraiser 27.2. Kiwi Raikkonen goes into P3, 27 flat. Corey Hack, 27 flat. Nux, 26.3 was that? Yeah, 26.3. Blistering lap time, 26.9 from Morgan Davey. Edges out Ricky Bobby. And I think Andrew and Adam, they've stopped immediately to get a fresh pair of boots on their car.
I think that was a good call. I was riding on board with Andrew in that lap, and he was just getting checked up a little behind Hellraiser and Atom, so I think he's made the smart call to jump into the pits, grab a fresh set of boots, get some clear air, because as we've seen in the past, he's a very quick operator, and I think he's happiest just having a clear bit of track where he can do his thing, and that thing happens to be blowing my mind with how fast he can go.
Yeah, exactly. So currently it's Jeesh who leads the way in just his second top flight Division 1 Sector 1 race. He of course did participate in the Division 2 race at Autopolis, where he absolutely smoked the competition and instantly got promoted to Division 1, where he's had some pretty decent results so far, and he's currently sitting in provisional pole position, which
the new kid on the block is certainly holding his own.
Yeah, we were told he was going to be around Division 1, Division 2 level, sort of on the cusp, but after seeing the first few races, he is definitely Division 1, as we see Hellraiser go up into P5, and we see new lap times being set everywhere. Nux holds P2, Kiwi Raikkonen into P3, Ricky Bobby P4, Hellraiser up into P5, and Nux in the background there looked like he went a little bit wide. The two Deeds guys in 7 and 8, Morgan Davey leads Karen Unleashed, and we see the two Ascension drivers in fresh air as they start their flying laps. We'll just ride on board with Distinct Andrew. Let's see what he can generate in his Ascension Viper. As he crosses the first sector, goes purple, just eases it through, such throttle control that Distinct Andrew is showing us in his Viper as he comes through very composed through turn 9 and into turn 10. He brakes so late, it's almost impossible, the points where he's braking for most people, as he goes onto the back straight. And we'll try and see what speed he hits. It appears he's got miles per hour on in the cockpit, which I don't speak miles per hour, but as he comes to the braking zone, revving absolutely everything out of the car. Jeesh improves his lap time, 25. Oh, he's made a bit of a mistake coming out of the hairpin. As Hellraiser improves his lap time, goes to P3. What's this lap time from Distinct Andrew going to be? Morgan Davey improves, Karen improves. Very quick lap time from Karen, actually. And he goes P2. So Distinct Andrew, unable to top his teammate there. He did make a mistake at the hairpin, but currently it's a Sanction 1-2 with Nux behind, who leads Hellraiser, and Karen in P5. Atom improves. It's an Ascension 1-2-3. It's an Ascension 1-2-3. Oh my! That's actually incredible to see. Actually. Sheesh in the Mercedes, and ASR Adam and Distinct Andrew in the Vipers. It's not every day you get to say that team has a 1-2-3.
Looks like in the absence of GTR, the Ascension boys have come to stamp their authority on this round.
Yeah, 4 yellow cars take the top 4 spots, as Nux and his Autobahn lock his Nokia car. He didn't have a very good day out last time at Bathurst. Car was bottoming out and the rear end was coming around. Oh, he gets a bit of oversteer on the exit. He's not going to be too happy with that. As Hellraiser ruins the Ascension party, goes into P3. This kid is flying. 26-1. As Morgan Davey puts himself into P7, and somebody else improved there. I didn't quite catch that. And Distinct Andrew. Oh boy, 25-5. All right, Andrew. Time to stretch your legs.
Excuse me while I go regurgitate a little. That is disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I mean, Adam improves as well, makes it another Ascension 1, 2, 3. Oh my! I think there's going to be a lot of alcohol down at the Ascension Racing garage tonight. That's for sure.
Morgan Davies moved up to P7.
Yeah, good lap time that for Morgan Davey. And we've seen it this time. We've seen it in the past seasons, and also coming out more in this season. He's not a qualifying driver. He doesn't like his one-lap pace, but in the race, he is a force to be reckoned with. Morgan Davey in that Deeds Chevrolet. We saw him charge through the pack at St. Croix. We saw him charge through the pack at Trial Mountain, and he just keeps doing it, and he got a P2 last time out at
Geesh with a 25.6.
Wow. In a Mercedes. That is very rapid.
Wow.
So the current order is looking like this. Distinct Andrew P1, Geesh in P2, Adam in P3, Hellraiser P4, Karen in P5. Oh my, Distinct Andrew goes even quicker. 25-4. Womble, I think you're right. We could see a 24, and I want to see a 24. Yeah, that's a great question, Womble. Who let this team into the series? And Atom beats the other teammate, the other Ascension car. Sheesh. Oh, these guys just trading lap times. It's anyone's pole position at this point.
It's just keeping an eye on Geesh with Ricky Bobby in his slipstream. Geesh has decided to abort that lap. He's just backed out of it to let Ricky Bobby one past.
Yeah, that's kind of fitting actually. Geesh is number 333, and he's also in third position.
As Ricky Bobby comes into the pits for a fresh set of boots. With just under 5 minutes to go here in qualifying.
Ricky Bobby is a second off pole position and is in 9th. Talk about how close this division is. The top 5 between, as Morgan Davey beats his team owner by 14 milliseconds there, goes up to P5, into P5 with a 26.2.
It's amazing how in Div 1, compared to other divisions in qualifying, like divisions 3 and 4, you know, we're separated by tenths. These guys are separated by thousandths of a second.
Yeah, just to shed light on how... Oh, okay, well, never mind. I was going... Well, it still applies. Just to show how dominant these Ascension guys are at the moment. It's a 4/10 gap from the worst Ascension of Geesh at the moment to Knuckles in P4. And then from there, the rest of the field is split by 6/10. That's it. 6/10. So, these guys, this team... Luckily, there's no Teams Championship. Or unfortunate for Ascension Racing that there's no team championship, but these guys would be absolutely dominating it. Top 3 drivers at the moment in this qualifying session in the top flight of Sector 1, all from the same team. I don't think we've ever seen that before, mostly because we've never had 3 cars from the same team in the one race. As Hellraiser improves to a 26 flat. He goes 19 milliseconds slower than Nux. As we see Ricky Bobby, he's going to start his flying lap. We'll just jump on board with him now in his Mercedes. Gets it pulled up under brakes.
Speaking of Nux, the wily Fox may have just done a nice strategic maneuver. He's backed off on the back straight, and he's just tucking into the slipstream of Kiwi Raikkonen here, along the front straight.
Yeah,
looking to improve maybe on that P4 position at the moment.
Yeah, the Chevrolet, it's very thirsty but very quick in a straight line. So Nux probably just using the slipstream to get by. And now Kiwi Raikkonen acknowledging that he doesn't want to give too much. I think that was Karen. Getting in the way.
I was riding behind Knuckles at that point. I was hoping Karen would see him coming.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. It may have compromised Nux's line, but I mean, Karen really had nowhere to go in that situation. It may be something the stewards would be interested in reviewing after the race, but there's nothing we can do about it now. As Nux, he goes through the split, and he is still blue, he's still green. That is a personal best so far. Ricky Bobby improves to a 26.3, goes into P8, raises his position by 1. Oh, and Nux is gone!
Lost it.
Oh, how's he done that? Oh, let's have a look on the Next Level Racing Action replay. Story hack 26.5. So he's come into the braking zone, and I think he's just got on the power a bit early, and it's just sort of looped on him, and he wasn't able to save it. So not the best from Knuckles on that occasion, as he.
It's okay. He's reset. He took a little bit of a run up to get a good speed coming out of the final turn onto the straight, because he's obviously got an eye on the timer, and with less than a minute to go, it'll be his last chance to improve.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's only going to be maybe 3 cars on track that are going to get another lap after this. Hellraiser, one of them, and it's Ricky Bobby, and Corey Hack might get around again, maybe. And Jeesh is the other one that'll get around again.
Hellraiser improves.
Hellraiser beats out Nux, goes into the 25s. 25.9 for Hellraiser. And next across the line will be Ricky Bobby. Does he improve? No, he does not. And Jeesh behind. Does he improve? No, he does not. 14 milliseconds slower. Distinct Andrew.
Just sneaking in for one more lap.
Yeah, Distinct Andrew. This is going to be his final lap, but can he improve? Is it going to be a 24? Oh, he does improve marginally, but it's not a 24. So Distinct Andrew, it looks like he will take the pole position. He is provisional, but Jeesh is another man on a lap, and Jeesh could potentially spoil the party and take pole position off his teammate under the right circumstances. He's proven to be a very fast operator as he flies through turn 10 now, onto the back straight. On rails, that Mercedes at the moment. As he is about to come through the sector split. Let's see what it is. Is he purple? No, he's blue. He needs to find another 800ths if he wants to get pole position. He could still spoil the party for Distinct Andrew. Can he get it? It looks like he's going to get his teammate Adam, his team owner Adam. But will he get the pole position? That's the question. As he comes down onto the final straight and rounds the final corner. Ricky Bobby letting him pass. What's it going to be for Jeesh? Could he go into the 24s? It's going to be close. Oh, he doesn't actually improve. So that's Jeesh finishing his lap. And Ricky Bobby last across the line. And that is everybody done for this qualifying session, as Ricky Bobby barely makes it across the line to finish that session. But wow, so Distinct Andrew on pole position with Atom behind and Jeesh in third. So it's an Ascension 1, 2, 3. How incredible is that?
I don't think you could have picked that if you tried.
Yeah. And Hellraiser, he's just gone from strength to strength so far. He had a shaky start to the season, but now qualifies in P4. He'll be very happy with that. A P4 in the top flight of Sector 1 Nux doing what he always does in P5. Great consistency from Nux. He gets another great qualifying under his belt. Morgan Davey in P6. And Karen Unleashed in 7th, the two Deeds guys. Ricky Bobby P8 for Obsession Motorsport. Kiwi Raikkonen, very uncharacteristic for him, P9. Yeah, he's really not had a good last couple of races, and he always is at the front. But yeah, I know Dadson won't be too happy to see him down in P9. As Corey Hack, P10, rounds out the rear. I wouldn't say anybody was slower off the pace, as most of the pack was separated by less than a second. You see the gap between P4 and P10 between Hellraiser and Corey Hack is just half a second. That's all that separates them. Anyways, so we ready to get underway?
We are ready. I get to push this big red button one more time.
Yeah.
Let's get them going. Alrighty, 7 seconds. I have a feeling this is going to be an absolute cracker of a race.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the next 50 minutes. Here we go.
Will the ASR boys work together, or will they just go for individual glory?
Yeah, that's the question. I mean, I know Atom will be wanting everybody from his team to get along, but you don't always get what you want. As we're lining up and they start the formation procedure.
I'm just going to keep my eye on Mr. Morgan Davey here. Being in P6.
And we are underway, and it looks like well, the Essential guys got a good start to this race. Looking down the order, everybody's pretty much single file. Nux goes for a move on Hellraiser, thinks about it, doesn't quite get it, but Hellraiser slightly wide. Everybody single file through turn 1. Everybody seems to have sorted themselves out clean through the first sector, and the Ascension guys have held on to their top 3 spots. I don't think we have any position changes this far in the race. Oh, as Nux goes down the inside of Hellraiser. And in the background we saw something else. Yeah, Nux into P4. So that's good stuff from Nux. Not waiting around for anybody, just taking advantage of Hellraiser, who was going a little bit slowly through the Titan technical section on his cold tyres. And Nux just ducks it up the inside and says thank you very much and moves himself into P4.
Everyone's being very well behaved on the first lap, which is great to see.
Yeah, definitely. As
Morgan Davey having a look down the inside of Hellraiser at the hairpin.
Done? He does get it done. Oh, he's lost it! Oh, Morgan!
No.
Oh, there's no grip out there, Morgan.
What that has done is led his team owner alongside. Now,
yes, it looks
does he
like...
pull rank coming into turn 1, or does he let his teammate do his thing?
So let's have a look on the next level racing action replay just after if we see this move. Oh, he goes for it. And Morgan Davey, no, that's Karen that goes back in front of Morgan Davey. So we'll have a look on the next level racing action replay, see what happened to Morgan Davey there. He came down into the hairpin. He got it all sorts of wrong on exit. He had the move done and just a little bit too eager on the throttle and loses 2 positions as a result. As Nux goes down. Oh, what's happened to Nux? He's fallen all the way back down, and Hellraiser is into P3. Nux is struggling, and he's got a 1.5 second penalty. As somebody's lost it in the background. It's Morgan Davey again.
Had a moment.
Oh, 3 wide. Oh, and
Karen's
Ricky
had a
Bobby
moment.
goes down the inside as well. And Kiwi Raikkonen's got the slipstream. Oh my, there's 5 cars in a space of 2 tenths. It's all
That
going
right
wrong.
there is a great example of the difference in straight line speed of a Mercedes versus a Corvette.
Yeah, exactly. As that's
Ricky-
Nux. Nux slow as
Ricky
well.
Bobby
There's
will
6
be
cars. They're 2 by 2 by 2.
fuming. In his helmet, just unable to do anything.
Absolutely. But it's all shaping up. There's 6 cars in about the space of, well, a second now. But oh wow, they've all sorted themselves out because Nux had that 2.5 penalty, like what we saw at Bathurst, where he got that second penalty through the dipper, and it's dropped him all the way to last place. He was battling for P3 or P4. Sorry. Oh, Ricky Bobby's gone.
No.
Oh no.
I suspect the lobby may have crashed because I just have a frozen screen right now.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
So that's not good. I mean, everybody seems to be carrying on, but yeah, as ASR Adam picks up a penalty, so your screen is frozen at the moment.
I still have... No, wait, I'm back.
Back? Okay. It looks like it's all sorted itself out for now as Distinct Andrew
We have
goes-
lost a couple of drivers though.
Yeah, we've lost...
Ricky Bobby.
Oh, we've lost Jeesh!
We've lost Jeesh,
Jeesh is
we've
gone.
lost Ricky Bobby. And that's all we have lost. I am not sure what has happened there.
Yeah.
Is everyone else still on track and racing?
I believe
for you?
so. So, Distinct Andrew did not set the fastest lap of the race on that occasion, as he eased off, but Hellraiser into P3 now. Yeah, but not too sure what's happened there. It seems like it's all sorted itself out as we've lost two drivers, one of which was fighting for the podium, the third a sanctioned driver in Jeesh, but yeah, I'm not too sure what happened at all. Not great to see. Gran Turismo 7 and sometimes has its moments. So riding on board with Hellraiser at the moment. And we're just getting word from admin whether it will be race red flagged or not, but we're not too sure at this point. I mean, it's up to the race director if you want to red flag it, but we just lost two drivers for it. So are we going to red flag it or?
That's a very good question.
I mean, for the moment,
have we received any communication from either of those two drivers?
I believe not. I mean, it's we're just trying to sort it out, guys, and if it's up to you, Carbonboy, if we red flag it or not.
Or is it 4 laps in?
Well, we would just go for 40 minutes because that would be the closest interval, I would assume. But it's up to you. There's a lot of people. Oh. As we see ASR.
I'm calling it.
Calling it?
Calling it a red flag.
So unfortunately, we lost a few drivers, and oh. All right. So sorry about that, guys. So Gran Turismo 7 has had a Gran Turismo 7 moment, and we will be restarting the session. It's not ideal, but it happens.
Got to do what we can do, make the best of it.
Yeah.
It's something we're used to with GT7.
So we'll just get word. I think we'll just go to an intermission for a second while we sort out what's going on here. We're terribly sorry for the wait, guys, but it happens. So terribly sorry about that, guys. We'll be right back. Hello everybody, sorry about the delay. We are back. The room is up and we have everybody joining in. So I think we'll just run through the what's going to happen from here. So it will be a 40-minute race session. And it will be a 40-minute race session to complete this, and the order, the positioning for this restart will be in the order that it was at the end of lap 2, start of lap 3. So that order will be, let me just bring it up real quick for everybody to see. So that order is going to be Distinct Andrew, Atom, oh no, that's too early. Hang on. The order will be terribly sorry about this, guys. Let me just grab this up once again. So the order will be Distinct Andrew leading ASR Atom ahead of Geesh, Hellraiser, Morgan Davey, Karen Unleashed, Kiwi Raikkonen, Corey Hack, Ricky Bobby, and Nux in P10. So that will be the order for the 40-minute race that is remaining tonight. So everybody looks like they're in. Nux will not be returning after the after the red flag.
Sorry, Lenocis, could you just run through that grid order for me again?
Yeah, no worries. So it will be Distinct Andrew leading ASR Atom, leading Geesh, who is ahead of Hellraiser.
Yes.
Then Morgan Davey, Karen Unleashed.
Morgan Davey, Karen Unleashed.
Kiwi Raikkonen.
Kiwi Raikkonen.
Corey Hack.
And Ricky Bobby.
Yep.
Alright, that has applied.
Womble rooting for reverse grid. That would definitely be very interesting to watch. So we're about to get underway. It looks like everybody's in and nobody's got any glitches. So 40-minute race about to get underway. So terribly sorry for the wait, guys, but we're about to have Sector 1 racing action once again. So here we go, guys.
Alright, I get to push the big red button one more time.
Let's go racing. 10 seconds till the race start now.
Oh, GT7 doing GT7 things.
Yeah, it looks like we're finally going to get the race. And here we go, we're jumping in. Everybody's lining up on the grid waiting. Engines roaring. It is, of course, the formation start once again. So hopefully Gran Turismo is nice to us today. And we get to see some great Sector 1, Division 1 action today. And we are green flag racing. And once again, the ASR Atom, the Ascension Racing boys get off to a good start as Hellraiser sort of pressuring. As we see Karen Unleashed going down the inside of Morgan Davey. He takes that position from Morgan Davey. So the Deeds drivers going at it hammer and tongs for now. So good stuff from them. We see them as the drivers come through the first sector. All clean so far. As we see, Kiwi Raikkonen on the outside there. I thought he was almost in the wall, but he had to back out away from the two Deeds drivers, of course. But we continue racing. Here down through the second sector now, and Distinct Andrew still leads ASI Haddam, who leads Geesh ahead of Hellraiser and the two Deeds drivers behind. We could see a move here. We see three Corvettes. We see Karen Unleashed, Morgan Davey, Kiwi Raikkonen, all in a straight line, followed by the Mercedes of Corey Hack and Ricky Bobby, I should say. And no moves being made at the hairpin, which is the most common place you'll see a move on this track, as well as people lining up moves for the turn 1, which is coming up. It's the next corner in concession now, as they cross the line to begin lap 2. Stinked Andrew with a 1:31.8 on the first lap of the race. That's pretty rapid. As we see the Ascension guys still holding on to their 1, 2, 3. We see Morgan Davey under a lot of pressure from Kiwi Raikkonen at the moment. And
That sector of turns 2, 3 and 4, it's not a place you want to get too cute with other cars around you. There's really only one way through there, and it's only one car wide. So if you can't get the move done, unless the driver in front of you makes a mistake and puts it a little bit wide, it's best to just back off, sit behind, pick another moment.
Absolutely. These drivers...
Kiwi's picked up a half-second penalty.
Ooh, well, that is
Coming
not
onto
gonna
the
be
back
good.
straight, running just a little bit wide. He's not going to serve at this lap, but next lap that's going to hurt.
Yeah, if it stays as close as it is at the back here, we should see him drop all the way to the back of the grid, which Kiwi Raikkonen is a quick operator, but really struggling in the last few races. As we look up and we see Karen Unleashed, he's actually edged a bit of a gap back to Morgan Davey here. He's on for a ripper of a result, same as Hellraiser, who's sticking to the back of the Ascension trio. As we see, Karen just going a little bit wide, a little bit from the, far from the apex. Kiwi Raikkonen really pressuring Morgan Davey. I thought maybe a move, but he sticks behind for now. And both of these guys, both Morgan Davey and Kiwi Raikkonen, they don't like to sit behind and wait. If they have the opportunity to take the position, they definitely will. See, Kiwi Raikkonen very wide through there, and he does have his half-second penalty as well.
I am intrigued to see how the reduced race length tonight is going to affect the fuel and tyre strategy for these boys.
Yeah, absolutely. I just realised I forgot to change the script actually. So that is going to go down to 36 minutes at the moment. Instead of 46, sorry, that is my bad, but it should be updated on the stream for you guys now. As we're 4 minutes into this session, it is 40 minutes, reduced race length distance, due to the fact that we had that red flag. We were 7 minutes into that race, but the disconnections happened at around 4 minutes. But it seems like everybody who wants to race is racing, and that's all that matters. GT7 doing GT7 things. You see Hellraiser going a little bit wide there. Distinct Andrew setting the fastest lap, 26.1. Very quick from him. There's Hellraiser right underneath the rear bumper of Geesh. He could potentially get a Sector 1 Division 1 podium today. Hellraiser. He's put in the hard yakka the last 2 weeks, and it could pay off for him big time. Bit of a gap back to Karen Unleash, 1 second. Currently 35 minutes remaining in the race. Somebody, lots of tyre schools in the background. I believe it was Kiwi Raikkonen. Didn't quite have his Corvette covered under the sweeper of turn 9. Could see a move from Morgan Davey on Karen Unleashed here. And he's just sitting behind. He's pushing him along. Okay, so there's a bit of teamwork going on here. Number 37 and number 33. Of Karen Unleashed. Morgan. Karen's gone! That was very close.
Almost.
That was almost an exact replica of what we saw happen to Morgan Davey before the red flag. We'll just have a look at the racing action replay, and they've come into the braking zone, and you just see Karen got a little bit eager on the throttle, and he almost lost it, but continues on for now.
I believe that is worthy of car control.
Yeah, car control, absolutely. Very quick reactions. I reckon it was full opposite lock for the other direction for Karen Unleashed. So we're 5 laps in now. Do you reckon we could have a tyre and fuel update on the entire field, Carbonboy?
Alrighty, starting up with Distinct Andrew sitting in pole. All 4 tyres are looking very fresh still, with maybe 5% wear on both the fronts and the rears, and he's sitting on exactly 3/4 of a tank of fuel. His teammate Atom behind him, well, they're driving identical cars, doing very similar lap times, and their fuel and tyre wear is pretty much identical as well. Moving back to Jish, has a minuscule amount more of front tyre wear in the Mercedes and is just under 3/4 of a tank. Hellraiser in that gorgeous pink and purple Aston Martin is near on identical to Jish in terms of fuel and tyres. Karen in the Corvette is looking good for tyres, but as we know, the Corvette loves a drink and has used a little bit more fuel, so he's a couple of notches below 3/4 of a tank. Morgan Davey behind him, again, near on identical, just under 3/4 of a tank. Kiwi Raikkonen's doing a fantastic job with the fuel save. He has identical tyre wear to the gentleman in front of him, but has a little bit more fuel in reserve, so if he's content to just sit behind the 2 Deeds boys, he may be able to just jump them both in the pit stop. Ricky Bobby in the Mercedes, tyre wear's looking pretty good, maybe 5 or 6%, getting close to 10 on those rears. He's really making it work, and he's probably down to just over 3/5 of a tank. And Corey Hack has a little bit of a moment coming onto the back straight there and picks up a half-second penalty for his trouble.
Yeah, I think Ricky Bobby and Corey Hack have had a bit of a coming together, because Ricky Bobby's 3 seconds off Kiwi Raikkonen and Corey Hack is 4 seconds off Ricky Bobby. So
I have not seen what's happened there, unfortunately. But in terms of tyres, Corey Hack's looking good. In terms of fuel, not so good. He's probably down to close to... I know I'm switching between metric and imperial here, but he's probably down to about 65% of fuel left. So, he's definitely wringing the neck of that Mercedes, and it's showing with his fuel usage.
yeah, for sure. As we look back up front, Distinct Andrew has edged out a bit of a gap, 1.7 seconds, so good, to his teammate behind, ASR Adam, who in turn has edged out a gap to about a second to Jish behind, who's still under pressure from Hellraiser. So Hellraiser just trying to potentially pressure Jish into a mistake. Hellraiser does have the straight line speed compared to the Mercedes. However, Jish doesn't have the slipstream to Adam in front now, so we could see a move very shortly from Hellraiser on Jish. Just look at how quickly that gap is coming down, and he's not going to be close enough on this occasion unless he sends it down the inside, which, he closes up a massive amount under brakes. 4/10, the gap, he's going to get another bite of the cherry as they come down.
We might be looking at something into turn 1 here.
Yeah, for sure, and just a nod to behind, Morgan Davey gets in front of Karen. As 2.5 tenths, the gap. Hellraiser definitely going to get a look into turn 1. If he chucks it down the inside, he doesn't look too interested in that actually. Seems like he's more thinking about the long game. There's no reason to be in front at the moment, but yeah, it's these two. I have a feeling that similar to what happened to you and VF in the Division 3 race, they're going to be going hammer and tongs the entire day, that's for sure.
Hellraiser is certainly doing a great job of sitting on the back bumper of Jish.
Yeah, pulling way above his weight this week. I think his best position was at Autopolis with a P7 finish, and now he's done miles better Oh, very
Is
wide.
he going to
Actually
get
pick
an
up a
invoice for that?
penalty. Is he going to pick up a penalty?
I
Looks
think
like
the
he's
racing
escaped.
gods are smiling on him today. He's gotten away with that.
Yeah, that was millimeter perfect, I think. He somehow got away without a penalty. So you see him jumping around a little bit. Gran Turismo 7 servers, still not the best. Looking behind, Kiwi Raikkonen has made his way past Karen Unleashed and is looking to get a move done on Morgan Davey. 3/10 currently the gap, hoping to put himself in the Dadson Corvette up into P5. Will he get it done? The Corvette's very maxed in a straight line actually. He's very patient this time round. Just
I think Ricky Bobby's had a moment. He's back down in P9, but
no.
2.2 seconds behind Corey Hack.
Not a good day for Corey Hack and Ricky Bobby, that's for sure.
I am seeing a
Massive moment on lap 7.
few marks on that front bumper. Or no, they are just the sponsors. My mistake.
Oh. And lap 7, you see he set a 1:34.1, which is 8 seconds off the pace, so he's had a massive moment. Absolutely. Oof. Didn't quite catch that one. Not too sure where it happened, but not ideal for his championship bid. Currently sitting P5 in the championship. Distinct Andrew, sort of stretching his legs at the moment. 2.1 second gap to his teammate behind. And Jeesh maintaining that 1 second gap. And Hellraiser maintaining that half a second gap. Oh, Jeesh, maybe a little bit wide. I don't think it was wide enough for a penalty, but I wouldn't want to go too much wider than what he just did, that's for sure. As we see Morgan Davey edging the gap to Kiwi Raikkonen to about 3/4 of a second now, as he sets the fastest lap of his race, which is only a 10th off Distinct Andrew. It's a 1:26.1 for Morgan Davey on that previous lap. As Karen Unleashed has sort of edged out that gap as well a little bit more. 1.1 second gap between Kiwi Raikkonen and Karen Unleashed.
Up the front, Jeesh and Hellraiser have brought the gap back to Adam. There's only 6/10 between the two ASR boys now.
Yeah, maybe a mistake from Adam. All of a sudden, Jeesh is within slipstream range, so we could start to see a gap start to form between Hellraiser and Jeesh. 5/10 either side of Jeesh to the car in front and behind. And we could start seeing a battle pack between these three form throughout the race. 25 minutes left in this one. Hellraiser still sticking to the back of Jeesh. Jeesh, he's right underneath that rear wing of Adam at the moment. 3/10 gap between those two. As they round the final corner, as they're going to cross the line. Are they going to edge into the 25s? Did any of them do that? No, I don't think either of them edged. Oh! Jeesh goes for a move. Jeesh sends it up the inside, but now Adam is going to get the switchback. And what's it going to be? Jeesh is just going to have to hold position for now. But very opportunistic move from Jeesh. We'll have a look back on the Next Level Racing action replay of that one. They head down into turn 1. It was he just sent it down the inside, and I think he outbroke himself actually, and I don't think he meant to do that move at all. But then Adam just held the inside line and kept in the position as they came into turn 2 and turn 3. So this battle pack, it's 7/10 to Adam now, but Hellraiser right underneath the rear wing of Jeesh once again. 3/10 gap between these two.
He would have seen that move at turn 1 and just metaphorically started rubbing his hands together with delight.
I think Hellraiser is more concerned about his tyres and fuel, because it looked like he lifted off there into the braking zone. The gap came down to 1.5 tenths, and before the braking point, about 100 meters beforehand, that gap just started to go up and it came down to about 3-4 tenths under brakes. So I think Hellraiser just lifting off Oh,
I
there's
think you
yellow
could
flags.
be right onto something there.
Something. Stewards were showing green flags as they went through the first. Oh! We've lost Corey Hack. And Corey Hack, that was a manual DNF. It appears as though he has. Was there an incident between these two? Maybe. I think there might have been an incident between Ricky Bobby and Corey Hack.
Yep, there's some witness marks on the rear right bumper of Ricky Bobby's Mercedes. And a few little marks on the front bumper as well. I'm not entirely sure what's happened there. Ricky Bobby continuing on. Just putting his head down. He's near as can be 20 seconds behind Karen. But it's good to see he's just continuing on, getting on with it.
Absolutely. I mean...
And what I was saying before we had that little moment there, about Hellraiser being concerned about his fuel, you might be right, because looking at Distinct Andrew and Atom in the Dodge Vipers, they're looking pretty good at about 40% fuel remaining, give or take. Geesh is a little bit lower, maybe 35%. Hellraiser's just over a quarter of a tank, so he's definitely using a lot of fuel to stay with these guys, despite being in the slipstream. But he may just be playing the long game and thinking, right, I might be able to jump him at the pit stop.
Speaking of pit stops, there's 22 minutes remaining in this race. These guys are going to be thinking about a stop pretty soon. I think we're going to see some variable strategies tonight, because the reduced race distance down to 40 minutes after the red flag, it's really going to throw a spanner in the works to a lot of these guys' races.
I'm not sure if Kiwi Raikkonen's had a moment, because he's dropped back to 3.2 seconds behind Morgan Davies and is only 7/10 in front of Karen.
Yeah, I know he picked up a penalty on lap. Oh, it might have been lap 11 he got the penalty, but yeah, that's really
that will do it.
So 3 seconds between Morgan Davey and Kiwi Raikkonen now, so very interesting. But it looks like Hellraiser and Geesh, these guys are still going at it. I think Hellraiser definitely thinking about the long game. These guys won't need to be worried about fuel too much, but they will need to be able to fill up their cars to a certain amount at the pit stop to get them home, which I don't think any of these guys have been practicing for a 40-minute race duration. So very interesting to see who puts what in their car.
It'll be very, very good to see how good these guys are at thinking on their feet and making things up on the go, because obviously you spend your time practicing for the expected conditions, and then when racing throws you a curveball like this, it can really put a spanner in the works in regards to strategy. So you've got to I'm not going to do the whole Bear Grylls quote, but you've just got to adapt and improvise.
Yeah, well, in this industry, in motorsport, you need to expect the unexpected, always.
As it looks like ASR Adams coming in for his pit stop.
Yeah, they're all coming in. Distinct Andrew stays out, Morgan Davey stays out, Kiwi Raikkonen comes in, Karen goes around again. Let's see what Ricky Bobby does, if he comes in or stays out. Ricky Bobby, the last few races, he's stayed out longer than the rest of the guys, just because he can. He's trying to get that overcut. 20 seconds down, it might be something to think about as he goes around again. 20 seconds remaining in this race. So Distinct Andrew, Morgan Davey, Karen Unleashed and Ricky Bobby go around again. And coming out of the pits now is ASR Adam, Geesh and Hellraiser, and Ricky Bobby just concedes to ASR Adam, but is now just going to sit under the rear wing of ASR Adam for a while, getting him some good racing time that he can enjoy, rather than just being in the middle of nowhere for the race. Just enjoying his time, I think. There's only 8 drivers tonight, as we've seen a few retirements, but 8 points for an 8th position isn't bad. That's still a good haul of points that he can use for his championship bid. I don't even believe that would be his drop round. I think he came P12 at Trial Mountain, if I remember correctly. So Morgan Davey in. Distinct Andrew goes around again. And Karen goes around again. So Morgan Davey is the only one that comes in on lap 15. And let's
I think
see
there's some danger signs here for the rest of the field with Andrew going around again. He's just dipped below a quarter of a tank now as he goes purple through the first sector. So he's not only setting consistent low 26-second laps, with all of them I can see his slowest race lap has been a 26.3. And his fastest is obviously the fastest lap of the race, which is a 25.9.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby went around again as well. So Distinct Andrew, as he picks up a penalty, that's not going to be good as he lets Jish through. He knows at this point he's not really in a race with these guys. It's still good to just have some fun with them regardless. Just a bit of sparring.
That's it. Driving around, doing a race, all on your lonesome. It can be very mentally tiring as well as boring.
And he sets fastest lap at 25.8. And Karen Unleashed has a half-second penalty, but he will around the final corner. Is he going to set his quickest time of the race? It looks like no, not quite. He's miles off that target time, and we'll see if Ricky Bobby goes around again. I would imagine he would, just because he can. Does he peel into the pits? No, he does not.
No, he doesn't.
And looking back, Morgan Davey under pressure from Kiwi Raikkonen, and we could see a move on this time round.
Looks like Kiwi's content to just give him a bit of a nudge and say, come on mate, hurry up, let's go. Let's catch these guys in front of us.
He flies around the outside, but that was never going to happen under those circumstances. So currently at the moment, Kiwi Raikkonen is sitting in last position. With a few pit stops in hand, I would imagine he would come out in front of Karen and Ricky Bobby, which Karen is serving his penalty now. He has an 18-second lead to ASR Atom. I guess the advantage of... as Distinct Andrew comes in. But I guess the advantage of staying out is that you're going... Oh! Karen! Karen is almost
that was
lost
close.
it again. Watch the Next Level Racing action replay of that one.
Yep, I think he's pulling into the pits to not only get a fresh set of tyres on, but to change his underwear. So that was a moment.
Yeah, exactly. He should be covered by the fuel for that. ASR Adam leads Jish by 2.5 seconds. He leads Hellraiser by a second. Ricky Bobby peels into the pits on lap 17. So Distinct Andrew, he comes out of the pits 5 seconds ahead of his teammate, and it still remains an ASR 1-2-3, an Ascension Racing 1-2-3. So this is some incredible stuff we're witnessing. Such a dominant team. They've got such great drivers, and they're dominating. If there were teams championships, they would be dominating them. But, Distinct Andrew dominating the
credit
Division 1
to
Drivers'
the
Championship.
ASR team owner, Atom. He's done a fantastic recruiting job.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that he picked up Jish from GTWC that he does with Distinct Andrew. I think Geesh watched one of our streams one time, Sector 1, and he hit up Adam and he's like, hey, how do I get involved? And Adam's like, well, I'll give you a race seat, my man. And now he's here, currently sitting P3 on track for his debut top flight podium in Sector 1.
I think Hellraiser might have a few things to say about that. He's brought that gap down to 7/10 and it is still falling.
Yeah, Hellraiser has a fire within him at the moment that isn't going to be put out unless he gets that podium finish. And Hellraiser,
a little bit further back, Morgan Davey has Kiwi Raikkonen still on his rear bumper.
Kiwi Raikkonen not too fussed about getting past Morgan Davey so far. There's still a long way to go in this race. 13 minutes remaining.
I'm wondering if Kiwi Raikkonen's strategy here is just sit behind Morgan and bide his time until later in the race, because they're both in the Corvette and there is a noticeable difference in fuel levels remaining between the two cars.
Speaking of fuel, could you give us a rundown of who's done what with their fuel?
Alrighty, so Distinct Andrew is currently sitting on about 55-60%. ASR Adam is dead on half a tank. Geesh is about the 55-60% mark. Hellraiser again 55%, give or take. Morgan Davies got about 60% left in the tank. Kiwi Raikkonen is dead on half a tank. Karen has done a Deeds Racing and has about 65% of fuel in the tank, but by the way he's driving, he intends on using every last bit of it. And Ricky Bobby has 55-60% fuel.
That's fair enough. So everybody's sort of thought about the same thing around that. What's it
probably
called?
Probably when they were in the pits, filling the tank to around the 75% mark.
Yeah, and being a shortened race distance. Oh wait, no, actually that would have only applied to lapped races. I was thinking they would have had the indicator that tells them how much they could fill to go to the end based off the game's calculations, but that's only available during lapped races rather than the endurance race, which we have. Which Distinct Andrew opens up that gap once again to... oops, I accidentally bumped my keyboard, sorry. Open up that gap to 5.7 seconds over his teammates, so I think at this point, 10 minutes remaining, bar any mistake, Distinct Andrew is just going to walk away with this one as predicted by 57% of people. So Womble's hot take of the day is Karen to run out of fuel at 39 minutes and 30 seconds into the race.
Well, he'd be doing well to do that, because Karen actually has the most fuel out of all of the cars on track at this point.
And just to mention, Distinct Andrew, 25.4, that's a 10th off his pole time.
Oh, that's it. I'm out of here. That's insane.
For race pace, this man is just doing it for jokes at this point.
To put it into perspective, he's doing 3 seconds a lap faster than I was. That's blowing my mind.
Yeah. 25.4, that's a whole second quicker than the pole time in the Division 3 race. So, as we see ASR Adam rounding the final corner now, he could be setting a personal best time on this occasion. As we see Geesh still holding Hellraiser back, 5/10 of that gap now. 9 minutes remaining, we could see a move from Hellraiser. I know Hellraiser really wants this podium. We've seen him, he's a very quick operator in pre-season. getting that win, of course, at the Red Bull Ring.
Oh, Kiwi Raikkonen's going for a move on Morgan at turn 1.
And he gets it done. That's some good move. That's a good move from Kiwi Raikkonen. But Morgan Davies going to try the switchback.
And gets it.
Gets it done.
He's got the better position for turn 2.
Kiwi Raikkonen's going to start thinking about the end of the race coming up shortly. And he might be starting to get a little bit desperate on the back of Morgan Davey. Doesn't want to be left bare and without answers. So
he is a very, very shrewd operator though, so maybe he was just testing the waters there to see what Morgan would do and how things would go.
So we're just looking on the Next Level Racing Action replay, and that was some great defense from Morgan Davey as they come through the first tunnel now and into the
There's
second.
a lot of psychological warfare that goes on in racing. Just little things like, you know, showing the nose in the braking zone, getting the guy in front of you to be looking in his mirrors rather than the racetrack ahead of him. If you're lucky, you can force an error, which basically hands you the position.
Yeah, as we've heard over and over again, motorsports is like a game of high-speed chess. These cars at their peak speed, 300 kilometers an hour. That's some very quick chess, I'm telling you now.
Fastest game of chess I've ever seen.
Yeah. As Hellraiser as well, he's sort of just fallen off the back, fallen a little bit out of touch with Jeesh. About 9/10 the gap between these two at the moment. And I think the closest battle on track at the moment is between Morgan Davey and Kiwi Raikkonen. And as Kiwi Raikkonen showed us to begin with, showed us on the previous lap in the previous overtaking zone, he is now at that point where he's willing to chuck it down the inside for a move, which he's definitely going to be close enough on this occasion. Will he make the move? I think he's sort of thinking about the large run down to turn 1, and that's he doesn't want to be left.
Seems to be focused on getting that good exit out of the hairpin and then using that really long straight with a slipstream.
Which is exactly what he's doing right now. Less than 1/10 the gap, and he's going to try around the outside. Is he going to get it done?
Goes defensive nice and early.
And he's going to try it around the outside. Can he get it done? It's basically
well done,
a repeat of what happened on the last lap, but Kiwi Raikkonen ends up on top that time. That's a great
well done,
maneuver.
Gentlemen. Left each other plenty of room, but still had a good hard fight about it. That's great to see.
Yeah, side by side through the corner, around the outside. Kiwi Raikkonen, that's a spectacular move. You love to see it. Great racing from these two guys. And they're side by side again.
Morgan. Just a little one, nothing major.
Yeah, Morgan Davey isn't the kind of guy to let something like that go. He's definitely going to have an answer for Kiwi Raikkonen, and he could even go for a move straight away down into the hairpin. Not even thinking about the run down into turn 1. I would imagine Morgan Davey, he's going to stick it up the inside if he has a sniff. And he does have a sniff. Just shows his
backs
nose.
out of it.
Yeah, he is thinking about the turn 1. And he's hoping he gets a good exit, but so did Kiwi Raikkonen. Or Kiwi Raikkonen actually left a little bit bare on the exit, had a little bit of snap oversteer, and that could see him losing the position. Let's see what line Kiwi Raikkonen takes into the corner. Very defensive, up against that pit wall, and he's going to peel back across. No, it's Morgan Davey who peels across early, and now Morgan Davey's going to try it around the outside. Can he get it done? No, he can't. Kiwi Raikkonen holds onto it. There, that's some good stuff by these guys. They're still going at it, hammer and tongs. Next Level Racing Action replay.
Turn 1 here at Deep Forest is a very unique corner where overtaking around the outside is very possible here. It's not the case with a lot of tracks, but there is plenty of room and you can carry some good speed through there. So if you've got the car control and a large set of the proverbial, you can just hang it around the outside and make it work. The downside
it's a very
is
infighting corner.
the person on the inside has the optimal line for turn 2, so you've got to get it done.
It switches back to the inside for turn 3, so you can. It's sort of even, I reckon, whether you have the inside or outside line.
How brave are you going 2x2 through that section?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times, but you're gonna have to have a big pair to try it. That's for sure.
I'll happily admit that I'm not going side by side with someone through there.
Yeah. As Morgan Davey, he doesn't get the greatest of exits. Kimi Räikkönen sets his quickest lap of the race. It's a 25.998, just into the 25s. Morgan Davey closing up that gap to about 2/10. And I think the gap ahead, yeah, it's still around that 7/10 mark. 3 minutes remaining. We're going to get another 3 laps in this race. And Kiwi Räikkönen showing no sign of slowing down. Just, oh, Morgan Davey sends it down the inside. Thought for a second he could have pulled it off, but he didn't. He had a sniff, had a whiff. He was knocking on the back door. He wants this move. Tight under brakes, right on the back of Kiwi Räikkönen, gets a good exit. Is he going to be close enough for the move though? So how are these two guys actually comparing on tyres and fuel at this point in the race?
Morgan Davey and Kiwi Räikkönen. Morgan actually has slightly better tyres and a little bit more fuel. Kiwi's sitting about the 15% left mark, whereas Morgan Davey's probably more, not quite 20% left, and has much healthier front tyres than Kiwi. So I don't think Morgan's out of this just yet. Kiwi might run into some drama at the very end of this race. Just might run out of tyres.
On that last lap was actually the quickest man on track by 6 thousandths of a second. Distinct Andrew set a 25.707, while Kiwi Räikkönen set a 7:01.
And just on the G Hellraiser watch, Hellraiser's closed that gap into just 4/10. He's not letting go of Geesh. He wants that podium.
Limited overtaking opportunities left for Hellraiser.
There may also be another limit there. Hellraiser has the fuel light on.
Ooh, well, only 1 lap remaining, so he might have
As
just
does
timed his
Kiwi
fuel to the
Räikkönen.
T. So, interesting enough, I think Atom has actually eased off a little bit from Distinct Andrew. I was thinking maybe it could be because to give Geesh the slipstream for this final lap, but he's still way out of range. 2.4 seconds currently that gap. Hellraiser's going to get one more go at this. He's going to get one more opportunity, and so is Morgan Davey, as he's not going to be close enough. Oh, Kiwi Räikkönen very wide on the entry of turn 1, but yeah, Hellraiser just needs to ace this this first sector. The last time they'll be going through this first sector. And it is the final lap now. And I think Hellraiser, it looks like he's going to be too far away to get moved on. Oh! Geesh hits the wall. That's going to take a huge chunk of time out of him. And now it's just 5
He has
tenths.
got damage. That front right wheel is flashing red. That may hurt him at this final hairpin.
Wow. So Geesh might just lose the position on the final lap of the race. Is Hellraiser going to go for it? Can he get the move done? He dives down the inside. No, he doesn't get it done. But does he get the exit? This is the exit he needs. Now he's got the slipstream all the way down the back straight, but it's 4/10. It's not going to be enough.
And Distinct Andrew sets a 25.175 on the final lap of the race.
takes P2, and is it going to be in a sanction 1, 2, 3? Yes, it is. Hellraiser takes P4, and Kiwi Raikkonen P5. Morgan
Just
Davey
holding
P6,
off Morgan Davey.
and Karen Unleashed in P7 as he comes to cross the line, the last car on track. And oh wow, that was some spectacular racing we saw just then. Absolutely magnificent. So Distinct Andrew extends his championship lead over GTR, who was absent today. And I noticed that I made an error with the poll that I submitted. I said that GTR had a chance of winning today, but he of course did not because he was absent in today's race.
Did anyone answer in the affirmative to that question?
4% of people said that GTR could win today.
I admire their optimism.
Anyway, driver of the day, Womble gives driver of the day to Womble. I'm going to give my driver of the day to Hellraiser. He had just a great race and unfortunately couldn't convert it to a podium, but he did a good job, pressured Jeesh the entire race, and I think the most that gap was the entire duration was 8/10. So he just kept it real tight. Some good stuff for Hellraiser.
I concur with that decision. I'm also going to give driver of the day to Hellraiser. I thought he had a fantastic race, hanging on the back of the ASR boys the whole time. Kept the mistakes to a minimum, and I believe that's his best result so far this season, so well done to him.
Yeah, we see Shyster in chat giving driver of the day to Hellraiser, and it seems like we have a Jeesh fan club in the Sector 1 chat at the moment. A lot of emotion for Jeesh. Driver of the day to the one and only Jeesh lol from Jackie Jess. Stranger gives driver of the day to Hellraiser. Oh my, Prue has given driver of the day to Womble. So that's a change of events. So we're just waiting for the race to finish, the 300-second race duration time, and Karen Unleashed says, "Oh geesh," but I think it's supposed to be pronounced "Oh sheesh." Cappy gives driver of the day to Sheesh. So
well done to all the drivers tonight for bearing with us here in the race director's office while we do what we have to do to make this happen, despite GT7's best efforts. Just again, my apologies to everyone for the delays in the stream. Not a lot I was able to do about it. So again, thank you for just bearing with us and being patient while we get the racing going again for you all this evening.
Yeah, it was once we got all the issues sorted out, it was some good stuff, and we had some great racing, particularly between Karen, Kiwi Raikkonen and Morgan Davey, and Hellraiser and Jeesh. So we got some more driver of the day nominations for today. We got High on Quack giving driver of the day to Jeesh. Karen gave his driver of the day to Hellraiser, and Killer on Deluxe gives his driver of the day to Hellraiser. So that was it was some spectacular racing, although the numbers weren't there by the end of the race, as we had a few dropouts and technical difficulties. It was some great racing action, and that's what we love to see here at Sector 1. So yeah, thanks to everybody for showing up and supporting all of your favourite drivers tonight. It was some good stuff from everybody involved tonight in the Division 3 race, with Stranger getting his maiden win of the season for Doghouse, and Doghouse's first ever Sector 1 win. So good job to him on that, and congratulations to Ascension Racing on their 1-2-3 finish. Distinct Andrew, ASR Atom, and Jeesh. So good stuff from everybody. Thank you for watching tonight. Yes, as you should, Jackie Jess. You need to subscribe to Sector 1 because we have some of the best racing on Gran Turismo 7. We're one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best Gran Turismo racing leagues, and we have been for years now. So thanks for everybody for showing up today and supporting the stream and bearing with us in the technical disasters that were happening behind the scenes, but we got through it and we had some good racing action from everybody today. So thanks for coming along. You got any last remarks, Carbonboy?
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for tuning in. And I am thoroughly exhausted, so I think I'm going to head off, hit the showers, and then pass out into bed.
Yeah, that sounds like a
they're my
plan.
last words.
Yeah, so stay tuned for next week, guys, as we're back here at Deep Forest in the Swiss countryside for the Group B week, where we have Division 2 and Division 4 racing here, hopefully hopefully with a better experience in terms of GT7 issues. So shaping up to be a good, a good showing for the Group B guys. Something else that I needed to point out, in 3 championships, that is Division 2, Division 3 and Division 4, there is a Doghouse Motorsports driver that is sitting on 102 points. Well, not after tonight, but before this round, after P4, we had in Division 2, we had Evo on 102 points in second place for Doghouse Motorsport. In Division 3, we had Stranger in P2 for Doghouse Motorsport on 102 points. And in Division 4, we had PD Pops for Doghouse Motorsport on 102 points. Like, I just think that's a crazy coincidence that we really need to appreciate.
There's a conspiracy going on somewhere, I believe.
Yeah, so according to that logic, it should be a Doghouse Motorsport lockout, and they're all going to get wins this week, I reckon. That sounds logical. What do you think, Carbonboy?
I really hope not, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them, though, for very similar to Lightning Motorsport from last season, being the new kids on the block and coming out swinging in a big way.
Yeah, I reckon there's going to be lots of alcohol down at the Doghouse Motorsport garage and the Ascension Racing garages tonight.
There will be celebrations.
Is Adam's company card going to be on tab down at the bar? Is that what's happening to guys? Is it going to be an open bar?
Maybe not.
Is Adam going to cover the costs for everybody to come down to the Ascension Racing garage and have a few drinks?
Yeah. Yo, shout.
Anyways, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the Sector 1 channel, and if you haven't already, follow the Facebook page, the Instagram. We've got all the socials, the website, and yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.